welcome back to the We'll Take It From Here podcast, guys. Another week, another episode. This episode is sponsored by Honest Supplements. Taking care of your health shouldn't mean overpaying for supplements. That's why Honest Supplements is changing the game by offering high-quality, lab-tested supplements at prices that actually make sense.
While most supplement brands keep raising prices, Honest Supplements keeps it simple with just a 50% markup, helping customers save an average of 40% per product.
So, guys, whether you're looking for daily vitamins, sports nutrition, wellness support, or weight management products, they've got you covered with trusted ingredients and transparent pricing.
If you're tired of paying premium prices for the same supplements, head over to honestsupplements.com and see how much you can save.
We're back, folks, so we'll take it from here. Episode 231, Joe and Timmy. We got a guest for you today. Guys, we're going to have a nice conversation. I know we are, because this is Al Cuccinello, who's been on the show twice before, and every time we have very thoughtful, interesting conversations. Right. He's also a savage and a badass, so don't fuck with him in the streets, because he'll fuck you up.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, dude.
Just a double black belt, and he doesn't know.
Yeah, right? No, but guys, sit back, relax. It's going to be a very thought-provoking show. So if you have anything to say, any shit to talk, drop it in the comments. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime. Hell yeah.
A little changes since the last time you were on, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
I think the last time was in the garage.
I'd say it's a big step up. Very professional. I love it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. First show was in my apartment. Second show was in your garage.
How many years ago was that?
Gosh. If it was in my apartment, it had to be 2023 or 2022. Something like that. And then 2 years ago for yours. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That's
the time's
crazy.
Going quick. And I think we said it the last time, on the last show. It was like, man, time really flew.
Yeah.
Here we are
it
again.
Did. Yo, it did. So. And it's been... It always has been flying. Like, it just seems like yesterday that we started the show. But regardless, there's probably a lot that we're going to talk about a lot. You know, we're going to spitball like we usually do. That's what the show is. But I know that you've been doing a lot of training, a lot with life since you last came on. So what's new, bro? Let's start there.
Yeah, man. Same stuff. Just been training still. That's been going great. It's...
Did you... It might get you, since you were last on, right? You got your double blacks, right?
Yeah.
So last time you didn't have your judo black belt,
no.
Right?
Yeah.
Al is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and judo black belt, guys. Mm-hmm. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Just a ton of work, a ton of positives, pros and cons. It's a lot of ups and downs in the journey. I just had this conversation actually last night with a guy up here about training, and he's a 3 or 4 stripe white belt. Mm-hmm. And, he was like, gosh, I don't know what my style is. I haven't found it yet. And I'm like, man, listen, you'll get your style. It'll eventually come to you.
That's not something that you just
it's not something
make a decision on.
I think it just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick it. I mean, you can try to develop a style, but I think it just happens naturally over time. And, I think that it's cliche, but a black belt is just somebody who doesn't stop. You eventually go through the cycle of saying, man, I don't know anything. Then you start feeling like you know everything. Then you feel like you plateau. And then that's when it's really easy to quit. Mm-hmm. When you're like, gosh, everybody's getting better than me and I'm not that good. Maybe I should sit home on the couch today. Maybe I should go out to eat instead. But you keep showing up and you just eventually... It just keeps coming together. So
yeah, I feel like if you get to that point where training, I want to choose my words wisely here, right? Because you should love training's fun, right? Yeah. But there's that point where sometimes you do maybe want to stay home or do something else. As long as you can just keep going without stopping, even if it's a fewer days a week. That's how you overcome
That's been mine. 1 day a week.
Hey, listen, man.
For the last, dude. So I was on travel this week. I was telling him I was in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and I trained at Travis Lutter's gym. Lutter, UFC guy. He was in season 6 of the Ultimate Fighter. Dude he looks like a Chuck Liddell, just like scary looking. Like you can see his hands. Yeah. First off, I couldn't catch my breath. It was so humid that week. It was Tuesday
especially
night.
Down there.
Could not catch my breath. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed right now. But everyone at the end of the locker room was just like, man, I suck today. And I'm like, and all the brown belts and the black belts talking. I'm like, all right, cool. We're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
But it's like I was telling when I walked in, I was like, "Yeah, I've been doing this for 12 years." I'm like, shit, the last half of that though, I've been once a week.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm showing up enough, but like that, like the once a week is like you just, it's the bare minimum.
You know what? I think that it's really hard to sustain a level where you're training constantly all the time for a long period of time. You need to give yourself breaks. You need to tone it down a little bit. The way I see it is, because your life as you get older, there's just more stuff that happens. You have kids, you buy a house, your career changes. And it's hard to keep training 5-6 days a week, twice a day, whatever the routine is when you're
just
starting
time
out.
management wise, right?
Yeah. So what I do is when I go in to train, I try not to make it a talk session. I try not to mess around too much. I just try to get good rounds. I show up and I just have good rounds, and I make sure that if I leave and I'm not sweaty and I'm not tired and I'm not gassed, like I don't feel like I got a good workout.
Yeah. No,
so
that's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah.
That is a little bit weird when you do train and then you're not really tired. You're like,
I hate
fuck
that,
did
man.
I get from
I
this?
hate that shit. When you go to train and you leave and like 2 of your rounds where like we all have those people, we know those guys who talk the whole round. I don't want to name any names, but there's guys that just talk the whole round and they're like, how's it going? Oh, things are good. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm wasting time here. I want to get my round in with you,
Dude, so it's funny you say that because there's people at the gym where like we end up talking like, I want to fucking roll with you, but I want to finish what we're saying right now.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Fuck.
Yeah, right.
Shit, it's been 3 minutes of the 6-minute round.
Let's beat the shit out of each other, and then we'll talk after.
Yeah, but that's the problem though, is I do a podcast, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm like, no, I'm going to finish my point.
Right. But you know what your motto should be? Less talking, more tossing.
Dude, seriously, that's a good one. I like that. Let's start making rash guards.
Less talking, more tossing. That's definitely yours, dude. Every time we haven't gone in a while, but the last time I did go with you, we slapped and bumped, and I was like, oh, I have to not get tossed right now because you're very quick.
I try to be fast. I try to be. I like the crowding style a lot. I really like guys like Andy Main and Andy. Segovia's style, he's also very into. So I think it's an MMA background style-esque. It's really hard to move when you got somebody constantly crowding you, constantly following up with something, and I enjoy that style. I like it from the opposing side because it forces you to be on your toes. So jiu-jitsu wise, I try to mimic that style as best I can. In the judo world, I try to train, I try to throw, I try to hit my throws, I try to be. Judo is the difference. I treat it this way: jiu-jitsu is like an aerobic workout, and judo is like an anaerobic workout.
Yeah,
right. Like jiu-jitsu is very like you can last, gas tank, keep going, and judo is more like an anaerobic, like quick bursts of energy, fast sprint, like fast sprint, and a lot of times that's why it's easy to gas out in judo because you're doing all those heavy movements where you're burning your gas tank really quick. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, you can kind of methodically choose when you want to use your energy and when you want to conserve it. Mm-hmm. You don't really have that opportunity in judo. It's go constantly.
Yeah, that is something that I have not experienced, but watching you guys when Pure used to have the judo. You guys used to fucking kill each other, dude.
Dude, it was fun. It was like a fight club. I mean, it's a shame that it went away. It's gone now. It's history, and I think everybody landed on their feet and ended up in different directions, which is great.
Pun intended.
Landed on their feet, exactly.
So I can't help myself, guys.
Yeah, and it put me in a different direction. Going to start a new journey over at Colton's Judo Academy, and he's got great things he's doing there. He's training people, I think, to try to go to the Olympics. He's training, national people that are competing internationally and placing. He's got all kinds of people there, regular people, men, women, kids, classes. I mean, he's got a lot of members, and maybe one day you guys can have him on because I'm sure he's got a lot.
Absolutely, we gotta get that.
I don't want to speak for him, but he's got a great program there.
Yeah, I'd love to have him and Rob Alex on too.
Yeah, I would love to have the both of them on because I want to hear his story because he's an Olympian. He fought. I guess that would you say fight in judo?
Yeah.
He competed
twice.
In
the Olympics. Yeah.
Which is wild. I remember when he first started showing up at Pure, and they're like, "Yeah, he's Olympic." Was he training for the Olympics at that point?
I believe so. I think it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
It was for the 2020 Olympics that got postponed. So it was prior to that, prior to COVID. And I remember I would just try to get rounds with him. And I was like a yellow belt. And I'd just been doing judo for like a couple of years. And I was aggressive. I was a little bit younger. I was lifting at that time, so I felt a little bit stronger. Lifting more, I should say. I felt stronger, and I wanted to test myself, so I would try to go. I'd try. And I just got thrown every single time, like hard. I was like, "Oh, this is great."
As to be expected.
This is awesome.
Not only is he a black belt, but he's also training for the Olympics. He's like, "Nope." Nope, I got to bring everything.
And then I think last time I saw him on the mats with jiu-jitsu, he was a purple belt, but that's not a true, like,
I don't know.
With an Olympian style
I've rolled with Colton. He's got good jiu-jitsu. I think
he's got great jiu-jitsu.
Great groundwork. Yeah, for sure.
Like what I'm trying to say, and I think you guys understood that. And for those of you, I don't want to, jiu-jitsu is very good. It's like he's not your traditional purple belt. Just got
he's a purple belt because jiu-jitsu is the new part. Not the grappling. It's the specific stuff. It's like The
bottom line is he can get the job done
for sure
on his feet or on the ground. So
that's fun.
But
yeah, man. So outside of that, so we got jiu-jitsu's going well. Your training's going well. What else outside of that, man?
So, we touched a little bit on this. I started a men's group. I just did some outreach. I had this idea with a friend of mine who is my best friend. And I said, he's a Christian. He's a guy that is a man of faith. And he's sort of a confidant to me. Like, I trust him. He knows my life. I know his life. We've intimately shared our lives with each other in that manner. And I trust him, and so I talked to him one time. We go out to eat once in a while, and I said, look, we should start like a group, it would be nice to get some guys together. And he's like, take charge of it, go for it. And I was like, I really don't want to like take charge of this because then I have to constantly be on top of sending messages and reaching out. But anyway, I took the plunge, reached out to a couple of guys. Most are from Pure.
Okay.
So it ended up, we had a couple meets already. And the way I treat it is, it's basically a men's group, Christian based. But we're not like a group that focuses strictly on like Bible study. We don't focus on, trying to become like holier than thou. I hate that. I hate to use that, but a lot of times people think men's group or they think religious groups. They think, Bible study, Bible thumping, that's the slang. We're just regular guys who have regular life problems, who have just normal things going on, and we just want some common ground. And that's kind of the goal of it, is to just get a couple guys, normal, regular guys with real life problems together and just talk through some of our thoughts, our ideas, our faith, what's going on in the world. And it's been good so far. We got, 6 guys in it so far. And
let's go.
We're trying, maybe 7. We're trying to get a couple more eventually. The schedules are tough to get everybody to meet. We try to do it like once a month right now, but it's pretty new. But if you guys ever want to come check it out,
absolutely. That would actually,
I don't want to sell it too much on people because I would never want to push it. I don't know what anybody's, it doesn't have to be a faith-based group.
Sure.
We talk about faith. That's kind of the structure of it. We talk about Christianity and it's not like, oh, you're a Catholic or you're a Protestant, we fight. It's just, hey, Christianity, we all kind of believe in Jesus Christ and we all want to like discuss it and how it affects our life. So
that's awesome. And I think that's a good outlet for many men who maybe traditionally don't want to or feel afraid to share their feelings and become vulnerable. So to have you guys bouncing that shit off of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
It has to help.
There's this idea that, men can't discuss how they feel. I think it's just a common, we all know it, right? A lot of us, we laugh, but we can't talk about our true feelings. We can try. And a lot of times we end up feeling like we're not being taken serious until we talk to other guys who feel the way we do. Then we feel like we're being taken serious. But when we bounce things around to, you can't really, it's hard to talk, especially I think for men to try to talk to other women. It becomes a little bit of a challenge, I think. Men talking to other men. Men need other men. I'm sure women could say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like men need to talk to other men as like a counterbalance. We need to kind of relate with each other.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. You know?
It is. And
mental health. It's helpful for in a lot of aspects.
That's incredible, and that's very important there. A lot of men, I think, are afraid to do that with women because they have this fear, regardless if it's true or not with their women. They have this fear that they're going to be looked down upon because now you're opening up. Yeah,
yeah, or just not taken serious.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is you get crazy people, either gender, taking advantage of you too. You know, they use it against you. Whatnot.
Weaknesses. Yeah. Right. So that's the goal of the group. I think the goal in my mind is we develop friendships. Like it's all a bunch of good guys. We talk, and then eventually we're working on opening up a little more here and there. We talk about some stuff, some struggles, things temptations of life, the normal sinful world that we live in. It's really easy for all of us to kind of just fall into it because this is the world we're in. And the idea is like, how do we navigate through that and try to like live a just life? How do we attempt? Because we're not going to do it. We're not perfect. We're not God, right? We're all going to make lots of mistakes. Some are going to make worse mistakes than others, but, and the idea is owning it and acknowledging it and then sharing that with peers alike,
Did you, without, obviously I'm not going to ask you to share anyone else's stories, but did you, ever since it's been started, has there been some like intense sessions where people are opening up to?
No, I mean, I think it's just not yet. We have kind of discussed the concept, of like, I'll give you an idea, the concept of how like pornography in the world, for example, and what it does to guys and what a challenge it is for all of men, basically, right?
Yeah.
So that's an idea, that's a concept right there, and how that plays into like degrading men, degrading who we are, pulling us away from God, and how we can, acknowledge that first of all, because you have to acknowledge a problem before you fix it, and then navigate around it, because it's everywhere. And that's the truth, It's all over the world. It's in our life everywhere, and it's really tough, I think, for a lot of people to say, "Hey, I want to live a good life," but you got that force. That's one example. I'm just using that one.
Yeah,
that's one force. It's a big one.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's a powerful one that
everywhere.
pulls lots of young men and older men away, from what's important in their life. Not just from God, which I think is the most important thing, but it pulls them away from their jobs. Pulls them away from their families. It pulls them away from reality. Like, it's intense.
And how does it make them look? Like, it makes you view women in a different, like, even if you're not conscious to it, subconsciously you start to view women in a different way too. It's sort of degrading them, and that's also degrading yourself.
Yep.
Like, you're literally saying, dude, you can't do anything but jack off, dude.
Right.
Like,
right.
Like, why don't you? Oh, we're gonna go out to the bar and meet chicks and talk to chicks.
Yeah, I gotta clear my mind and get right, and then you're like, do I really have to do that though? Is that really is that what I need to do to clear my mind,
dude?
You got to ask yourself those questions,
Bro, how about this? How about because I've stopped it, right? I used to do it and I stopped it. How it's so freeing. Like, my mind felt poisoned when I was watching it, and now I don't.
It's crazy,
man. Crazy.
And the force, how it pulls you.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, like, there's nothing free in this world.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right? So why is that so accessible and free?
Because your soul.
Think of it. It's like, it's insane. Nothing is free. Yet you can get the most, this one guy in this other, you ever listen to the soft white underbelly?
I've heard of them.
Show where this guy interviews, really messed up people with really messed up lives or stories, like prostitution, drug addicts, like all kinds of crazy stories. And he interviewed this one porn star, and she's kind of just normalizing her career, and he's asking her regular questions about it and the things that she's done, and she's talking about all these things that she's done in the industry and these misconceptions about how people view the industry versus what it really is. And he gives his opinion and basically says, it's ruining young boys, and it's so accessible and it's so free. And he just goes into the idea of like, why is it free? Like, why is something if you think about what is the best commodity or what is the most valuable commodity for most men, it's kind of like sex, right? I mean, sex is like a commodity that like most men go crazy for in their lives. I think of wars, all kinds of stuff. It's usually over, women or fighting over, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times men will do anything to get laid in a lot of cases. And, I just feel like it's a shame that people go into that industry and are willing to give up such a beautiful thing like their body, or men and women, and make it free for people, What does it do to little younger boys, right? They want to go in and have a conversation with a girl, and they teach themselves that they don't have to do that because they can just go online.
Yeah,
They don't have to have real conversations with women.
They don't have to learn how to converse and socialize. Right.
So it's a dangerous slope. So I'm not saying that it's hard for that's just one example. So you can talk forever on that topic, but yeah, I'm sure there's other things. We are all, the guys in the group are normal guys. We're regular guys, right? We're married. We got kids. I think all of us have kids. We're all regular guys. We all train except for one of them. Everybody's from Pure except one guy in the group. So it's a good experience.
Now.
For now. For now.
So how, if someone wants to join this, like, do they just reach out to you? Like, where do they go?
Talk to me. Yeah. We don't really have anything formal. Just send me a text, reach out to me.
Okay.
I'm still, during the Lent season, I took a break from social media.
And I need to do one of those.
I did a detox. I got off for like the 40 days of Lent, and then I went back on, and I'm on now, and but I'm very cautious on like what I'm doing on there and what I'm looking at. I try to like check myself. I stopped my push notifications. Like I still post here and there, and I still watch reels. We all watch that stuff.
Yeah, it's so addicting.
It's addicting, but I don't want it to get in the way of like my life and my career and all that stuff.
I was just traveling this week, so Tuesday and Thursday I was traveling, and I'm like, all right, travel days. I'm set at the airport. I'm not gonna like that. Yeah. I try to. I have a timer on those social media apps.
Oh yeah.
So
it's a good idea.
Yeah. So I try to do 15 to 30 minutes a day tops. Fucking 2 hours for both apps, Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. But I was like sitting in the airport. I'm like, all right, well, I got nothing else to do. But then I came home today. First thing I'm like looking at, taking out my phone. I'm like,
it goes quick.
Why the fuck are you looking at your phone? It's 7:30 in the morning. You're home. You're finally with your dogs. Enjoy the fucking morning. Like, I didn't actually throw the phone by, like awesome, physically, figuratively threw the phone. I was like, fuck this. Why am I doing this?
Have you ever done the famous get off the phone only to open the laptop, and then you're like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? I hate that.
Well, no, I go on the TV and I just have YouTube hooked up, so I just go do that.
Yeah, YouTube. You know what? When I gave up social media during Lent, I found myself going to YouTube and watching a lot of you, but I was very careful because I was like, oh, okay, YouTube is technically social media.
Sure.
I didn't give all, so I just was like, I'm going to give up Instagram because Instagram, in my opinion, that's the one I use the most. Yeah. That's the one I'm on the most. And I think that's the one that's the most accessible.
Sure.
Right. I get my news from Instagram. Sure. I see when Charlie Kirk died, I saw it on Instagram like within probably minutes of it happening. I opened it and refreshed my feed. It was like, Charlie Kirk just got shot. It was live. And I'm like, it was before it was even on the news, before you could even go to news. People were posting it on like these, news pages on Instagram that I follow.
Sure.
That's just the world we live in. That's how fast things move.
Yeah,
it's scary.
It is scary too. And that the scroll is the doom scroll. They call it. That's the really really bad part of it. That's why I try to make my feed now a bunch of magic and card tricks. That's all I fucking
cards
look at.
by
Magic by Jason.
Magic by Jason, dude. Magic by Jason.
I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Shout out to Magic by Jason.
Yes, Jason Ladaney. Oh, bro, I think he's from New York or he might be Texas.
He's great.
I love his show. Amazing.
Yeah, he's good.
He's going to be in Brooklyn in October.
Is he really?
I'm considering going.
Yeah. No, his tricks.
Why wouldn't
you? Some crazy tricks.
Why is it considering? Why aren't you going?
Brooklyn, but I mean, I'll go. Fuck it.
Brooklyn, we go hard.
Yeah. I asked him on his thing. It was he posted a video. It was like 2 days ago, and I was the first one to comment. So I said he's going to see it. I was like, hey, any jersey? I know you do New York City.
You replied?
Yeah, he replied. He tagged his manager, goes, we got any jersey? And then the manager goes, no, come to Brooklyn. And then he replied, he goes, all right, let's get a jersey too. And I was like, let's go.
Yes.
So hopefully they get it.
Why wouldn't you do
jersey? I would love it.
How big is the shows does he do?
I don't know.
Are they like pop-ups?
No, I mean, he travels the world.
He goes all over the place. Yeah.
You can always
He's got almost 1 million followers.
You can always hook him up with Putin Coffee, man. Putin Coffee presents. They have big name fucking people all the time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, once a month. month they have a big name.
right.
Big name. It varies, but
Dude,
once a month.
he is. So his name is Jason Lindane. I'm so glad you brought him up.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's great. I love watching his show. I laugh because he does satirical stuff.
Yeah.
Like he throws comedy and jokes into the tricks while he's doing it. And he wears blindfolds and talks shit. He'll be like, "Oh, this one's for your sister," you know?
Yeah.
So funny.
No. So what happens is people will comment and will like Venmo him. Like, I bet you $500 you can't do this trick. And he goes, okay, but the only thing is if I do it, you have to Venmo me. So if he makes a video with your comment, you're paying because he knows how to do it.
He'll be like, Timmy, you're up today. We're doing this is, and he'll put a picture of what you asked.
Yeah.
So he'll put it out there and then he'll do the trick. And he'll be like, all right, now you owe me, whatever the bet was, $100.
Yeah, $100. Yeah, he's like Venmo in the top. And then everyone goes in the comments, did he pay up? And he'll be like, yes, or nope, it still hasn't paid.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. There was one guy, PJ. Remember, were you watching his stuff where he's like, PJ the bitch or whatever?
Yeah, he still hasn't paid or something.
The guy PJ who commented and he never paid him. And then he just made fun of this guy for, like, jokingly made fun of him on every time he did a trick, he would, like, call PJ out, for, like...
PJ still hasn't paid.
No. So he's like a card cheat, and that's what he is.
Yeah.
He manipulates, he stacks,
What's this guy's
he tracks.
name? I gotta
Jason Ladani. Do Card Magic by Jason. He's on YouTube and
Card Magic
Instagram. Yeah, dude, he's one time he was like, people always accuse me of cheating. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm a card cheating. He's like,
he's cheating, but he does it in a way that legitimately looks like magic. Like you're like, how the hell did he do that?
He's not like using CGI or editing. He's literally cheating with the cards. He's the type of guy that if you don't know, you don't play poker for money. He'll deal himself a royal flush.
People, he even said in one of his posts, he's like, people ask me, they want to pay me to come and be a poker, like the house dealer for a game so that I can cheat and win and we can split the pot. And he's like, I'm not doing that. Because you're so good at manipulating the cards, you can make me win and make it look like...
Dude, he could deal... Yeah. If you paid him, right, he wouldn't do this, but he could deal you a royal flush every hand. He's just stacking the cards.
It's so great.
But it's 40 years. You'll never know he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like he does my favorite trick he ever does. Yeah. He'll just do a waterfall and pick out the card that you want. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. And I've tried to slow it down. Yeah. I'm like, what is he doing? Is it like palm? Is he palm in the back of his palm or something? I have no idea what he's doing.
He'll do it. He'll be like, look, nothing here. He'll do the thing and he'll just pull the card out.
Yeah.
Like, fucking wild. Yeah. And he does everything he does online, he does live. So there's no CGI or anything.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Dude, you know what? If I go to that Brooklyn show, I'm going to pay to try to be up on stage with him. I want to be there. I want to be there.
Tag him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. How do we even get on the topic of
Instagram
Reels?
Yeah. Yo, Jason, I'm not lying. I don't know if you're going to ever see this, but I've thought about having you on the show. I just don't know where you live, so I would love to have you on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yes.
Well, when he's in Brooklyn.
What's up?
We'll get him in.
Yeah, fuck it.
We're only like an hour drive.
Yeah.
With traffic.
That's great. No, but perfect. Let's get back on topic. So you had your really cool men's group, right? Christian-based men's group where men can come to talk about life, talk about the struggles, talk about the good things, how they're going to attack their plan, basically an outlet so they can
that's the idea.
Confide in one another, which is great. And that's awesome.
That's the idea. I mean, it's a work in progress now. It's hard because everybody's got lives, like I said, and schedules. So we're trying to work all that out and get everybody on board with finding times to make it work. It's once a month right now. We're trying to stick to. Eventually, we'll try to pick it up a little bit, but we still engage. We have a group chat where we all like bounce stuff around. Sometimes we'll send stuff. We'll send like something related to like the gospel of the day or something. Be like, or like something that happened. And share it within the group and be like, oh, that's awesome. Great. It's kind of motivating. It's nice to like have common ground. I've been in plenty of texts. I am in a lot of group chats where it's just craziness, you know, like people sending like, people sending, and I'm like, this is fun. I get it. But like, there's a refreshing moment to be in something a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah. 100%.
Grounding.
100%.
Yeah, grounding. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
hell yeah, good for you, man.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I wish you the best of luck with that. And I think that organically that can grow if that's your goal. To what, and if not, you're helping 10, 15, 20. And who knows, if that grows, you help thousands, tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know.
You just got to take it, we don't want to become something too big for ourselves. I think that's the idea is we don't want to have everybody... I don't want to turn people away if they want to come into a meeting and they want to meet and join and talk. But I also would hate for it to become too big because then there's too many people giving ideas and it's non-structured and then it gets chaotic.
It becomes a crowd.
It becomes a crowd and not a group. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a fine balance between it, and you don't even. There's no number where that happens either.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I haven't.
5, definitely not. 5,000. Yeah, definitely.
We're not
so is 100 probably.
Yeah.
But is 20?
That's borderline. I don't know. At 20, 30, that's like a classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make something like that work, but that would be awesome if like 20 to 30 guys wanted to meet up.
And
like,
it's even too awesome. Is, at 20 or 30 people, you do it once a month, maybe 10% show up of that. So you got 20 people. Well, you got 25%. So you got, 10 people show up. You got 3 people. You got 20, 30 people in the group. You got a handful of people that show up every time.
The surprising thing is you'd be really surprised with how many people, especially guys, are just going through different stuff and they're living normal lives. And sometimes you feel like you're the only one experiencing something. And then you have a conversation with a friend in a similar fashion. And you're like, oh, okay. Like life is the same for you too.
Yeah.
I'm no different, right? You got your shit going on too, and so do I. Okay, we're kind of navigating this together.
It humanizes it a little bit.
It humanizes it a little, a lot. Yeah.
And think about it too. Just doing the show, man. To hear the stories. When I heard your story for the very first time, dude.
I didn't even go into like everything.
No, but still, it was very powerful. Yeah. And the point being, knowing you from Pure, knowing all these people from Pure are friends, and then they come on and they spill, and we're grateful that they do. They spill their life story. You're like, Jesus, man, like I never thought about that. Yeah, man, never thought about that.
It's freeing, It's very freeing to talk about your life, to talk about your past. A lot of people, don't want to talk about those things. They run from it. I think it's important to kind of take it on face first sometimes.
100%.
Not everything, because there's certain things that you don't want to put out there for everybody, but it's really important sometimes in your life to just address, your past. Yeah. Because it's what makes you who you are today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of excuses why people, you have people that blame their past for how they are now. But I think that, you can certainly use that as a scapegoat and blame the past.
That's victim mentality.
Victimize it. Or you can say, this was my past and it was terrible and this happened. That's like people who are like, I got hit when I was a kid. I got hit a lot. My stepfather hit me. It was, whatever, it happened, right?
Yeah.
I don't hit my kids.
Yeah.
I don't hit my stepson. I don't hit my little guy. Like, I just don't believe that that's the... there's times where I'm like, I'm going to spank him on the butt,
sure.
He's, going crazy. I got to give him a little,
absolutely.
But like, I'm talking, I could turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to hit my kids the way I was hit. But I'm not going to do that, because what does that prove? So that's my way of saying I grew and I don't want to be or become what I was exposed to. Mm-hmm. And that's just growth,
Mm-hmm. And that's powerful, because that's how the world becomes a better place. A lot of people don't take that route that you took.
Yeah,
it's powerful.
They don't. They take the victim mentality.
The victim mentality too. Then they justify all their actions, and then they're like, "I did nothing wrong."
Yeah, right. It's not my fault.
Yeah,
everybody else's fault.
Yeah, and then there's no accountability. There's no retrospection on it, and like analyzing. All right, I think that comes to, I don't know. Is it the chicken or the egg in this? Is this something that we take away from training martial arts, or is it something that we have this in us and that draws us to martial arts? But in martial arts, you have to do that. You can't just say, "Oh no, that guy's just better than me."
Right.
It's like, no, he did something better than you. Figure out what the fuck it was.
Yeah, you have to figure it out.
And like, and this is the thing I catch myself all the time too. I'm like, "Oh, that dude's like 25 and he's like 6'2" and like 250." I'm like, "Yeah, he is." So.
Yeah, right.
I can still beat him. I just need to figure out how.
Yeah, but hold on. And that is a good point, because jiu-jitsu too is meant to be the small guy beating the bigger guy.
Yeah, so, but it's like, you got to learn, like, that is the case. And it's like, well, if you're in the street fight and you have to defend yourself, well, you can't just say, well, you're bigger than me, so fuck you.
I have always wondered that, being in jiu-jitsu, around it as long as I have been now, I feel like I've noticed that there's I don't want to say there's a certain type, but I definitely think that there is a particular substructure of people that gravitate to it more than others.
For sure.
Like, I don't know what it is about jiu-jitsu that makes certain people gravitate to it, whether it's the puzzle aspect, the problem-solving aspect. I don't know if it's the structure of feeling like you're... because you could be a part of a lot of things.
Yeah.
You could be a part of CrossFit or a gym, or you can be a part of a swimming club, or a dart league, whatever. There's a million things you can do, but what is it about jiu-jitsu that makes people stay around as long as we're in it, right? As long as, like, what makes somebody want to say, I'm going to spend 10 years every season, summers, winters, rain, snow, deaths, births, sickness, all of it, weddings, divorces, like through it all, you know, you're going to still show up to this, because there's a lot of times in
I
something
wish I could
different,
answer that. I don't know.
You can quit, right? You might quit your dart league, you might quit your swim club or your whatever, but in jiu-jitsu, I feel like people they still keep showing up to it.
I'm not going to obviously speak on anyone but myself here, but like, so the big sports that I've done since I started jiu-jitsu, I started powerlifting, and then I got into rock climbing, and I stopped powerlifting because you can't do both of those things. So I was big into
hard, man.
I love rock climbing. Dude, rock climbing is one of the things that saved my life to start, and then jiu-jitsu took over. I got back into rock climbing recently, and mountain biking. So those are two big things I did, and I started doing jiu-jitsu, and like those are three big fucking intense sports.
Yeah.
So I try to stay on top of everything, but at the end of the day, what I always consistently do is I always show up to do jiu-jitsu. Like mountain biking outside, it comes with the weather. If it's been raining a lot, it sucks.
Right.
You know, and I enjoy doing it. I take my dog. You've met her. She's fucking nuts. She mountain bikes with me. But that's a lot of effort. Right. And like I'm out in the woods, like, so it's the gym stuff. I can go rock climb in the gym or I go to jiu-jitsu, but rock climbing's fun, but it's only a little bit. That something about the gym jiu-jitsu, it's fun. You're trying to outcompete yourself and having fun with others. I think it's the community that is what keeps people going. But there's something with the sport, and I don't know what it is. But
I don't either.
I like, even like when I was building this house, man, I was busting my ass, but it was still once a week I'm going to the gym. Right. I was up here. It took me almost 18 months when I bought the house to moving in of construction shit. Yeah. But once a week, how'd it go?
You know, the funny thing is too, in a sport like jiu-jitsu, there's probably more failure than success.
Yes.
And so to that aspect, that adds another layer to it. Why do people keep staying consistent? Is it because this particular group that like, for us, for example, let's use this subset, like us. Mm-hmm. Is it because we are goal-driven people? Are we like somebody who doesn't like no, so we have to keep trying to find the yes? Like, what is it? I don't know.
Definitely not me at all.
Do we not like failure? I don't like failure. Maybe that's a part of it. I
don't accept failure.
Yeah,
I don't accept
no's. Yeah, I don't, because
I take it,
because you can turn the no into a yes, and and jiu-jitsu is one of the ways you could do that. Here's my thought. I don't know if this is going to resonate with everybody, because it's a great question. Instinct. We always we don't live in a society, thankfully, where people are coming in and like kingdoms are invading other kingdoms and we're fighting for each other's lives. This is in our blood and DNA to be fighters, to be defenders and protectors. So maybe the aspect of that instinct of fighting, protecting yourselves and your loved ones and defending yourself and knowing that you're safe to do that probably keeps people coming back. That's my guess.
That's a good point, actually, because it's funny that you actually say that, because I have said this before, but I try at this point in my life to treat training as a form. It is one of the variables, but I treat it as, because I have, a young child now, and he's very helpless because he's young. I have to make sure that, I can stay in shape and I can stay capable, because the world is a fucked up place. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit. All you got to do is just go on the news or read true crime or, all this other stuff. And you can see what goes on, especially to kids, which just fucking makes me so mad. The crimes against children are horrible. But so knowing that, I'm like, I have to train because I got to stay ahead of those guys. Yeah. Because God forbid, if I were ever in a situation, I need to make sure that I can give it my all.
Fuck yeah.
To protect my kid.
Fuck yeah.
Or kids. So that's one of my aspects. I love training. I do it because I'm glued to it, and it's part of my life, and I'm drawn into it. But I also like it to use it as a sharpening tool.
Hell yeah.
Just try to, like somebody. There are people who have never been physically pushed by another human being, or they never had another human like wrestle them, and they're grown men. Yeah. And it's like, what would you do in a real life situation if somebody put their hands on you and started roughing you up? Yeah. You don't know how that feels. You have to put yourself, the best way to do that is training. The best way to do that without getting severely hurt or dying is to train.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you could know what it feels like to have another person trying to hurt you. You know, judo's great because it's very physical. But jiu-jitsu, someone's trying to strangle you, they're trying to hold you down. You know, you got to know how that feels. You got to keep yourself constantly fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
had Campese on the show, and Campese was talking about how he'll, for the most majority of his roles, if he's going with someone good, he's going to bring that violence, and he does it on purpose because it needs to stay in the sport.
Yep.
Now, he is a safe role. I'm not saying that he is someone that you should be straying away from, but you know it. You roll with him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He brings the fucking heat.
Brings the fucking heat.
He brings it. Yeah.
But at the same time, so even though he says the violence, at no point, like, it's like, oh, we're scrapping, but at no point, did I feel like, have I ever felt like with him that there's any emotion or hostility in it.
No.
And at no point did I feel like I'm concerned for my safety.
Yeah, no.
You know,
no.
but it's
a safe and
if
aggressive
I don't
role.
fucking cover my ass here, I'm going to be choked out or my ankle's going to be ripped off.
Yeah.
So I need to fucking protect myself.
Yeah.
And those are the rounds you got to put yourself in.
Oh, they're
You know,
fucking
You can't
great.
run away
Yeah.
from those rounds. You have to, you know, listen, the caliber of quality, I think, in this sport, especially around where we live with jiu-jitsu and in judo, in this area, there's a lot of really good people, you know, and there's people that are trying to go somewhere in the sport, in both sports. They're trying to make something of themselves. And so they train a lot and they're young and they're working out all the time. You can't run away from those people.
No.
You know, you can come up with a million excuses. I'm too old or whatever. You got to just, even if you do one round with them or 2 rounds, once in a while you get a round, you still have to give those rounds. Who cares? They beat you. Okay, they choke you out, whatever. Give it what you can
Yeah.
because just don't run away from those rounds. It's bad for your game. It's bad for the sport. It's not going to teach you anything. You're not going to learn.
No.
You know?
It's crazy.
I'm
Man.
literally just thinking back to this week. I'm like, dude, it was an hour-long class. I asked the guy, I was like, what do you normally do? He's like, I always mix it up. And I guess they're training for competition. So it was just immediately into rolling. I was I roll with the white belt. This dude was fucking strong. And we're doing situational drill start. So from the back, I'm like, we floor roll? I was like, no, regular. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I haven't warmed up. Couldn't catch my breath. Just straight into it. And like the whole round, every round, I'm like, damn, I need a fucking break. I'm not getting a break. I'm not doing it. And then like, it was the one purple belt, like oh, you're a new person at this gym and you're brown belt. Oh, we're going to test myself on you. Okay. So it was purple belt, brown belt, black belt, brown belt. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, and the one brown belt was their kids teacher.
Oh, okay.
And dude, I could not fucking catch my. So it was like, give me a second. So I took 10 seconds after each time he fucking tapped me. I'm like, yep, you deserve this because A, you're out of shape. B, I just wasn't used to the heat. But I'm like, okay, I got my ass kicked by him, but I can protect myself. Even though I'm so fucking exhausted right now, I'm still fucking defending myself. I'm not sitting there just doing nothing.
Yep.
You know, as much as it was so embarrassing.
Yeah, dude.
No, so embarrassing. But it was like one of those like, okay, yeah, I still have my jiu-jitsu here. I just don't have the energy to do shit.
Yeah. Fuck.
But
I did 6:30 last night. I coached the 6:30 class.
I was trying to come, but
drag
my feet.
We did a good drill. I had everybody, everybody skips warm. A lot of people skip warm-ups.
Yeah.
I don't like warm-ups. Nobody really likes them. Nobody even does them anymore, right? But I was like, you know what? We're going to do a warm-up like 10 minutes in. Like a warm-up style drill. So we did a little bit of material for the first 10 minutes, and then I went into like a live session where we did it was a knee on belly option. So we did 5 minutes. Partner on the bottom has to escape and get to their feet. That's it. That's all you have to do. You literally just have to get. Sounds easy, right? Okay, the person on top, you're applying knee on belly, and you're just keeping them there.
Derek Lewis, just stand up.
Yeah,
Right, just stand up. That was the drill. 5 minutes, just stand up, then rotate 5 minutes. Dude, everybody was like, "Oh, is it 5 minutes over?" Yeah. And I was like, "It's harder than it seems because." And that's real life training. That's not even sport. That's just, hey, let's see if you can hold somebody down with a knee on belly without submitting them. Don't put them in any compromising positions because you might get sued. Imagine if you had to just hold somebody in like in a knee on belly for 5 minutes or for a few minutes. You know, we did 5 minutes because trying to condition everybody.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's really, and you got on the bottom. You're just trying to stand up. You're not trying to defend it. You're literally just trying to get to your feet. It's very difficult. So,
that's
fun drill.
Yeah, it's fun
very
drill.
tiring.
And then we went into rounds when everybody's tired.
That's a great drill
that.
for cops to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, did you see? I saw this BJJ Cops that Instagram page. He posted something, and it was like the blue blue pile or the blue whatever he said. And I was like, what the fuck is this? There was like 7 cops trying to take down this one guy. And he finally got him down.
Or something? Or?
Yeah, one of those like crazy like New York. He wasn't New York, but something on there. But it took so many fucking cops to bring him down. And it's funny because at first I'm looking at this video and I'm like, oh, that guy is probably on superhuman drug strength. And then I was like, wait, dude, we would be like training at Pure. I'm not a cop. I've never been a cop. I don't know what that scenario is like. I get that we're in a room where we're trained, controlled environment. Yeah. But if any of us got our hands on that one guy, it would have taken one of us to just subdue him, and then maybe the other guy comes in, puts the cuffs on, right? Yeah. Working a team, but it wouldn't have been 7 people falling all over each other.
That stuff blows my mind when you see somebody trying to take somebody down in one of those situations, and from the outside, I'm watching and I'm like, oh my God, like this is embarrassing. They're like holding on and they're like sliding off them like a wet noodle, and then they don't get any hooks in, and the person just thrashes and gets up and runs, and then the person can barely run after them because they're out of shape. Like, I feel that should not be allowed for cops, man.
Should not be. It should not.
You should not be allowed to end up in that position.
I have a whole fucking thing. You know? They need a whole overhaul on the police structure. Training is not something they do at the academy, and then if they're lucky, they get a seminar or something once a year. Right. They have shooting qualifications, and that's every 6 months, I think.
That's horrible.
Whatever. It's on you to do your stuff outside in your own time. Why no?
And listen, man, the cops got to deal with a lot of shit that we don't have to deal with.
The thing that pisses me off,
idiots out there, man.
The thing that pisses me off, they're on 12-hour shifts, right? Why? I don't get it. I don't care I don't care what bullshit you have to say and justify it. It makes no sense to me. 12-hour shifts are exhausting. Nurses do it, doctors why are there 12-hour shifts that exist? Why? Make it 10-hour shifts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not make it an 8-hour shift, and then they get 2 hours where they're getting defensive tactics training, and then they can do some kind of conditioning inside of on their work time. Mm-hmm. Why is it 12-hour shifts? And why do they have to put in the time outside of work? The training stuff, Jocko's talk about this, about the training and stuff. They're like when soldiers, their training is all part of their time on duty, right? Right. Doing the drills and stuff. Why is that not for police? That should be part of
there should hours. Be. I think
they do have kind stuff, but there's stuff that they do. Knowing this because my wife's a cop, the stuff that they do is outside their normal schedule. It may be they may get paid for doing classes and seminars, but why is that not built into their schedule? Why?
Should be, right?
Why not? It makes no fucking sense. Because then she has to work an extra half day, or it's an 8-hour day instead of a 12-hour day. But that's just thrown in on her off days.
Or is that the problem at the higher level?
It's just how the structure is of the cop schedules. That has to come down to the town and the police department. They have to overhaul it. But they have to overhaul it. The thing is, it's like, well, we're paying them, so they should be out policing. It's like, okay, yes, or they police 80% of the time, and 20% of the time they're getting their training in, so they're more effective cops. There should be, maybe it's you get an hour of some kind of training.
Doesn't the National Guard do that? When you're a part of the National Guard, don't you have dedicated time frames where you just go and train?
The reserves one week in a month, I think.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how structured it is. But
it's 1 week in a month, I think, reservists go in.
Or something.
Yeah. But like my point is, it's like you got 12-hour shifts and then they're exhausted. The schedule is fucking wild. You get burnt out in that job, and then you wonder why cops are assholes. Also, the job draws in, just like jiu-jitsu. You're gonna get people that want to just be bullies.
Yeah.
It's not everyone.
No, definitely not.
But then you're burnt out from working a 12-hour shift, and you just pulled over 3 people that were all assholes.
I'll tell you what,
it's miserable.
Yeah, I think it depends too on where you're policing, because I used to work in behavioral health years ago. I was in that industry for 6 or 7 years.
Damn.
So I was years ago. I was in my early 20s, and we dealt with day program with people with mental health problems, and it was like a day program facility, and people would come in and they would have these class structures, and all kinds of mental illnesses, and people would try to elope, they try to run away, and they try to hit you and bite at you and spit at you and throw their piss at you and all kinds of crazy shit, and I dealt with that shit, and I'm like, I can't do this forever. I dealt with it for a period of time, and it exhausts you, it burns you out, it starts to make you less tolerant for those types of people or behaviors, people with those behaviors. So in that aspect, I can see where a cop who's working in a shitty neighborhood, who has to deal with, some crazy people, arrests, domestic violences, drug addicts, the same repeat offenders where you're like, you idiot, you're not guy. This is the fourth time I had to arrest you, right? Like, you're constantly dealing with that shit. You're going to start feeling negative toward those people or toward those situations. I'm not giving the cops who end up roughing somebody up a pass, but I am just saying it's hard being a cop. I'm not a cop, but I don't think I have the patience for it.
Yeah, it
requires a lot of patience and a lot of like eating, like sucking it up, like having to make sure you're constantly telling yourself, I got to do the right thing. I got to do the right thing. Because we're only human.
Yeah, that is true. And you want to know what? I don't want to backtrack my statement because watching the video and seeing the guy that was being apprehended, I still think we would be able to subdue him. But also, it's not fair to me to say that if I've never been on the job, right? So I do want to sort of backtrack in that regard because it is true. You're dealing with so many people, like these fucking mentally insane people
craziness.
That it's not going to be like a slap and bump. But that doesn't give you the excuse to not be fucking training because I guarantee you there were 7 cops. If all of them, or if
7
one
people
of them,
should be able to take down one person.
If 1 or 2 of them had the training, it would those 2 would have been able to take them down and have the other 5, set up perimeter.
But the problem is they got trained. They did their defensive tactics in the academy, and then the once a year. We all train consistently. I say I don't train enough, and it's once a week.
I know. Imagine somebody who had only done a class, a defensive tactics training class during the academy, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever went by, and they hadn't done any of that. They hadn't made any arrests. They hadn't had to be physical with anybody. You hadn't had to put your hands on anybody in a long time.
You
don't even know if those guys are working out or not. So that's
listen. When I see those fat cops, man, it's like you're a disgrace. You should not be on the job at all.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. If that's the 100%. Profession you're in,
you're a liability.
100%.
You got to show
You're
up.
coming to listen. Cops get called to house fires all the time. They're one of the first people there.
Yeah.
If you're there and there's they're technically not supposed to go in. They're supposed to let the firefighters do the job, but you see a kid in the fucking window, you're gonna want to go and help. Now you're a fat fuck, and now you're getting whatever.
Yeah, or you can't run after somebody. That's the problem, man.
But I think there needs to be a whole restructure on how the police is timing and all that stuff and training.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's never enough training. There's never. I think.
And look, God bless the guys that are doing the trainings, the Leo programs. The guys from our gym who are cops. The guys from other gyms. I see all the gyms. I see all the guys
putting in the work, man.
Gyms. They're putting the work in, man. I know a lot of cops that are doing a great job, and they're a good example. But again, you get those guys where you're like, what the fuck? How are these guys not able to take this person down? I get it. Maybe you don't want to get stuck with a knife or a needle or something. If the guy's got a gun, you're a little apprehensive. You don't want to get too close because it's scary. It's your life. But you can. If there's a bunch of you and you kind of know maybe the person doesn't have a shirt,
everyone take a fucking ligament.
They're just crazy. You gotta stop them.
7 people to fucking stop someone.
Yeah. But
that's crazy.
I can't deal with that shit. So not my profession.
No. I'm never going to be in I can't. God bless my wife. I don't know how she does it.
God bless her. I don't know. That's fucking crazy.
And the problem is in that career too is you're not dealing with good people.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe are you once in a while?
Your good Samaritan comes in, but most of the time you're dealing with arrest. My wife had a domestic violence last night. She was dealing with. I was like, that guy's a piece of shit.
Oh, those are dangerous.
Yeah,
man.
and the other thing too is every situation they go in, right? They pull someone over. They have to worry about them pulling a gun.
Yeah,
pulling a weapon, trying to attack them. They get resisting arrest. They're going on call to DVs, domestic violence, right? They don't know what the fucking scene's going to be, and then you're there to break up to help the woman because she's getting beat by her husband, and next thing you know, you're arresting the husband. Now she's fucking arguing and yelling at you for arresting the husband.
That's a volatile, dangerous situation to be in.
Yeah. It's a crazy career.
I actually, kind of on that topic, I read this case. So. Do you guys get spam calls? I'm kind of jumping.
Yes. No, don't worry. I was going to use this as a segue to what you said that you texted me that one. I think that's what you're going into, right?
So there's we could talk about that in a second.
Okay, perfect. Let's go through this first.
I get a lot of spam calls, and I'm just so sick of it. I do everything I can to block them. I probably get 15 to 20 spam calls a day. Yeah. It's out of control. It's insane. And if you just ignore them, they leave you voicemails. And I don't really check voicemails anymore, but they clog my voicemail. Yeah. So then if somebody important needs to get me and leave a real voicemail, they can't because I don't check my voicemails. and it won't tell me that it's full. So I'm like, man, these spam calls got to stop. All these people trying to steal information, all these fake scammers. So I read about this case recently. This, you know who Tom Selleck is? The actor, Magnum P.I.?
Why does that sound so
He was
familiar,
like
the
the actor of Magnum P.I. He was like the main actor, I believe. He's a famous actor.
Yeah, you know, I've definitely heard the name.
He's known for his mustache.
He's known for the mustache. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So this guy, this I don't want to say hacker. This what would you call it? Scammer. Found this older lady. She was like in her 80s. Okay, I guess 80s or late 70s, and he posed as Tom Selleck. And I don't know how she fell for this, but apparently this is a real thing where there's a name for it of like older people being taken advantage of through scammers. So the scammer found her on Facebook and was like, "Hey, this is Tom Selleck. I want to, I had something, I don't know the story, but he got her to send him $80 to an event.
Oh, is this catfishing?
Yeah, she sent money to him, and then he continued to build trust. Right, he continued to build the scammer continued to build trust. She continued to send him money. She was married, by the way, and then it started to get out of control. Like hundreds became thousands, and the husband found out, and then they intervened and were like, "No, this is a scammer." But she was in her mind, she did not want to face reality. She believed that this was really Tom Selleck that was messaging her. So it got so bad that the husband, I guess, realized that they were in like an insurmountable amount of debt, and that they would have, if it continued, and they would have no money or funds to give their kids or to pass down when they were gone. So I guess it turned into like a murder-suicide where like the husband, I think, they didn't say who did it, but I'm assuming the husband killed her and then he killed himself.
No,
and it turned into a murder-suicide because it got so crazy. They started losing so much money, all because this older person was taken advantage of and thought she was helping, Tom Selleck. Like, how crazy is that,
bro?
Right?
Those scammers need to be fucking killed, man.
Yeah, so crazy, bro.
They're crazy, bro. That's insane. Like, that's insane.
The fact that can even happen, and you think, oh my god, like who would fall for that shit? Older people, people who don't go on, like no tech, people who don't know AI.
I almost got scammed last year. They called, they matched their number with my actual bank.
Oh wow!
Yes.
They're like, someone sent a Venmo and like blah blah blah. It was not Zelle, and I was like, all right. They're like, here, send this number. Call this place. You got to call Zelle directly. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna call anything directly. I'm not gonna call the number you gave me. I'm gonna call my bank back.
Right.
And I went to find the Zelle number. I'm like, oh, Zelle doesn't have a number. You have to go through your bank shit. I'm like, all right. So I called. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna call the bank back. And like, yeah, that's a scam. Give me all the information. So I had it all written down. I sent it to them. And then the guy calls me back. And I just started like trying to like fake speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, you're on the phone with me before. I'm like, and I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Man.
Yeah. And he started getting me attitude. He was like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, he's mad that you called him.
Yeah. But it's like, they spoofed their number to make it look like my actual bank.
They're tricky, man.
Yeah.
Very clever, but I mean,
the joke's on them is the accounts that they were hacking me on don't have money in them. It's cool. I don't keep money in that shit.
There you go. Keep it.
I keep so much little cash on me. It's like it's investments,
dude. That's smart.
You can't steal money I don't have.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust banks anymore. I use them, but everybody's like, "Oh, be careful because if the system goes down or the grid gets hacked,
you need cash and gold on hand.
You're not going to be able to go to an ATM and get your money out."
Let me look. It's a valid point, right? And if we get to the point where that happens, nothing you have is safe, dude.
Right.
The real estate you have is going to be seized. Like, I don't know. I mean, you're very, very.
It's a possibility.
Point. It's a possibility. Right. Yeah.
But at that point, if it's that bad, that's a valid point too. Where does it end?
Yeah.
You've already passed the tipping point.
100%. Well, you got to think back, right? When Sandy was a decade ago now.
Dude, I remember waiting in lines with a gas can trying to fill my car.
Yeah. Dude, I wasn't there for that. I was in Penn State. I was at school. So, like, we didn't get hit.
Dude, my frat house had power back in a day because it was right next to the hospital.
I didn't have power for 3 weeks.
So, I stayed I stayed at my frat house in Newark instead of coming home because they didn't have power. But, like, no power. So, you need cash if you want to buy anything. Like, yeah. But that's the situation you have to deal with. Hopefully, we're set up now that shit like that doesn't happen. But.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, you would hope, right?
Everyone has a lot more people have generators now, but then you need gas. All the not all, but most generators you can set up to run on natural gas, so you can hook up with your house.
People get crazy during times of desperation.
Yeah,
that's the
what you need
biggest, I
firearms
think,
for.
curveball is like, okay, if everything goes like, look at COVID was like a dry run. I think it was a dry run.
No,
I don't want to sound like a
was.
conspiracy theory, like crazy.
No,
I think it was a dry
not
run.
a conspiracy
Kind of like,
theory.
hey,
don't
let's see
think
how
it-
fucked up everyone's going to be and
100%.
what we can get away with.
100%.
And
100%.
then there's another one maybe coming. I don't know what it is,
No.
but-
So I'm gonna say yes to that, and here's why. On the was it World Economic Forums in 2021? They dropped this, by the way. It might be the World Economic Forum, but one of these websites has it that COVID was a social test. Right now, everyone's comeback to that is no, it's just after the fact. We saw what happened, so they're saying it was a social test because it was after the fact. It's like, my brother in Christ, if that pandemic, like they were claiming, was as deadly as it was, you would never call it a social test.
No.
You would still hold it and be like, no, those people saying it was a social test is crazy. This was a deadly disease.
Yeah.
They're telling you the truth of what they did.
dude, so insane.
Yeah.
Just
It's disgusting, but there's evil in the world.
Well, hold on a second. It sounded like you weren't, which is fine. I know you agreed with the sentiment, but it didn't sound like you agreed with it being a social test. So I want to hear your
Not that
opinion.
it wasn't a social test. I don't know if it was a dry run or not. I think that was their attempt at doing something.
And they failed.
But
we can agree that it was a man-made thing, though.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
bat was falling into a fucking soup.
No, it's a man-made situation where they're like,
It
okay,
was artificially
got out.
adjusted. It was GMO disease.
GMO disease.
But I don't think it was a dry run. I think it was an actual execution of what it is. And I don't think they failed. I think they were successful. They did exactly what they wanted to do.
Okay, I see what you mean.
They know that they're not getting everyone. They know that not everyone's going to follow in and not ask questions. People are going to ask questions. It happens.
So-
and the test was to see how much they can do and how much they can get away with, how much they can push. I don't think they realize on how much social media has been a huge effect. And I think that's why social media now has been so
Inundated?
Yeah, it's like there's like the AI push, I think, is one aspect of it, but I think that's coming into all the stuff is they saw how much people didn't how much pushback there was and how much social media was able for the people to leak information. Like the Wuhan lab leak theory was fucking passed around. The vaccines not working and causing injuries were passed around at the very beginning. So I think technology, they recognize and how much that hurt them. And now there's so much like, why is all this fucking conspiracy shit now so out in the open? Before, during COVID, you couldn't talk about it. Now it's everywhere.
rampant.
And I think they realize that they can't hide it. So now they're two truths and a lie. You don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
They got 5 truths and 1 lie, but they milk it in these. So like the UFO stuff, all this stuff, the Epstein shit.
See, the UFO stuff, I don't know if I buy that either.
But that's the thing.
Isn't
though.
this
That's
crazy
a whole
though?
other thing.
But that's the thing is they put all this information out, and they have whistleblowers because they want everyone to question it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of what I'm pointing out is
I can
they
see
know
that. You're
how
right.
much social media has influx and like how much truth can come out. So if you just put a little bit of doubt in every little aspect of these like conspiracy theories, people just won't believe it. Or they just like I'm at the point
I think
now
it's
too.
just
It's like I don't even want to like. It's not that I don't want to hear about it. It's like I don't want to put energy towards that direction because I don't fucking care anymore.
Right.
I can't finding out about the
energy
JFK
not well
assassination
spent.
and all this shit. It's like, what does that change my life?
Yeah, it doesn't.
I can't do shit. I'm gonna protest with my vote. I'm gonna protest with my money, and I'm gonna protest with how I act. And that's it. Outside of that, why am I wasting that time and energy on all this stuff?
my problem
and
is,
that's
like,
not saying don't not be ignorant, but like don't absorb. Don't be absorbed.
It feels like we live in a mass surveillance type
100%.
world where it's like they're trying to we use the term they, but like there's forces beyond our control, let's put it that way, that are trying to collect information on us and data on us always, at all times, in all aspects of our life. And, it it's like to what end? And what would the function of that be? What's the purpose of that? Well, the purpose is control.
Control, absolutely.
You know?
Surveillance,
the more
state
you
control,
know about somebody,
100%.
the more you can control them.
And they always do it in a way of, first of all, they sell it to businesses that businesses are going to make
Which I
money
think
off of it.
should
Right?
not be allowed. But
No, but that's how it is. They sell it to you
CIA
that, like,
loopholes.
yeah, no, seriously,
Well,
like,
it's loopholes at the CIA.
if you think about it, even if you don't like those who still don't like AI are learning how to use it because it's going to further their business, and I don't blame them.
Oh, yeah.
But so that's how they're going to sit. One, two, they're going to for security purposes. That's how they sell you. Oh, well, we're not spying on you. We're spying for the bad guys. Yeah,
right.
until you say something that's contradictory, and then no, seriously, until you say something that someone deems as dangerous, even though it's not dangerous.
All COVID.
Right?
Yep.
Like, so that now you're enemy number one. So.
Dude, they shadow ban for sure. Like even looking at Instagram, I don't know if you guys have ever been shadow banned. Like if you post something,
we posted something. I forget what it was. You used a certain keyword and it got zero.
Yeah, I used Jesus. Hashtag Jesus.
Isn't that crazy?
Jesus. I used hashtag Jesus. No views. I used hashtag CIA. No views.
yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, granted, hold on. Granted, I understand we are growing, right? It's not like we have millions of followers.
No, zero is bullshit.
Right?
Yeah.
But we are now getting to a point where our reels are in the thousands consistently with the occasional couple hundred. I posted something that got like fucking 20 in a one day, and this was when we were starting to pick up.
Yeah.
And I realized I put hashtag Jesus.
Wow.
And I did that on purpose.
Just to see, yeah.
Well, no, not even just to see. I did it because, like, we were talking about Jesus and God at that point.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get the religious people to watch the thing. Well, that fucking shit got shadow banned.
Dude, even some of the very popular podcasts out there, they've talked about using keywords and how they have to avoid certain words.
Yeah.
Because
you have to use juice box if you talk about those specific types of people. You got to use grape if you're talking about the Epstein files and what they did. It's like, why?
That's another one.
Do you have to use that?
Yes, because it gets filtered out.
It's filtered out.
You can't talk about that. You can't talk about deleting people.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like they self-deleted.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
like
they unalived is the
Unalived,
term.
yeah.
Unalived is the
so
term.
like it's all. What game are we playing here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's a censorship of words because now what you do
like,
is you self-censor.
We just replace that word with a different word.
Yeah, but when
yes,
you
it's
control the speech, you can control the person.
I feel like if anything could disrupt us as a country the most and tear us apart, it would be, if anything, within what makes us America, I think it would be our freedom of speech.
100%.
I think our freedom of speech is the best and also the most dangerous thing that could be used against us, but also work for us in a positive way.
Yeah.
It's the best thing, one of the best things for us, but it's also one of the easiest things to weaponize and to pull us apart. And
They take advantage of it.
That's a tough
well,
one,
that's what they do. I mean, listen, this is tinfoil hat time, but like the whole the COVID with all the protests, right? That's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But all that stuff was hijacked. There's no way they got that many fucking protests to happen that quickly without it being organized. Those are facts. George Soros is known for funding this shit. Agent provocateurs, they're known for happening. The Wall Street protest. What was that?
Oh, the 99%, 98%.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, 99.
What was that? What protest was the Wall Street?
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
That protest, they were peaceful, and they had people come in there, agent provocateurs come in there, start disrupting it, so that they can then use lethal force to get them out there because they were no longer being peaceful. These things happen.
Yeah.
And they take advantage of it. Same thing with January 6th. How many in January 6th? I don't care what your fucking opinion is on it. I don't care if you think it was good, bad, whatever. Fuck you if you have a whatever. Fuck you all. That's my opinion. But you have to be honest with the situation. How many FBI agents were on the ground during that event? How many? There was a significant amount, and they refused to answer. They refused. It should be zero.
Yeah.
There should be zero
100%.
that caused that.
100%.
But they did the same thing as they did for Occupy Wall Street. They fucking infiltrated and then caused it to amplify more. When chaos is going off, people get roped in.
Yep.
And they take advantage of it. This is a playbook that happens throughout history.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Throughout history. And that's why I try to so much in these conversations with people, hey, your emotions are being hijacked. And this comes back to the thing with Dr. Gus and PsyOps. All your emotions are getting hijacked. All this stuff is people playing into that. When
they're winning when you get all worked up and you're like, oh my God, and you like check the news all the time and you're and you're fighting with your friends.
That's even
Dude,
that's
winning.
just service level of winning. And then, then there's like the Instagram reels. They're trying to suck in your emotions and get you pissed off. You see the police brutality videos. Now you're pissed off, and now you're always pissed off. Like It just everywhere.
Yeah.
And like this comes back down to the first conversation we were talking about with pornography is getting hijacked. But then it's also they hijack you in social media because if you're a guy and you look 2 seconds too long at a fucking pair of boobs on social media, that's all you get in your feed. And then they sprinkle in the other stuff that gets you worked up and pissed off on. So then they know all the little shit that pisses you off. They don't care about they
don't care, dude. It's all
it just keep you sucked in and roped in.
100%, 100%. And you want to know what they do? They're very strategic, not only in that with putting plants in, but they're very strategic on when they're going to show something on the news to create the stir, the stir the pot, and to cause anger, right? So if you notice,
and the wording on how they say stuff too,
yes, because legally they can't be held accountable, right? Or they're technically saying the truth even though they're misleading.
They're leading the witness, basically.
Yes,
basically.
So you notice a certain someone, whether you like him or not, but whenever Trump's in office, the media is causing all this shit. He'll do something, and granted, right now, a lot of us who voted for him aren't liking what he's doing, right? But but let's say this. Let's take ICE for example. ICE has been around for decades. ICE was around when fucking Clinton was around, dude.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
No.
When all this shit was happening, right? There was no media coverage for Obama, Bush, and Clinton doing that shit. There was no social media, granted, for really Bush and Clinton, right? But there was no coverage. They're not pushing that. When the gas prices went up because of the war, the media's pushing it. But 4 years ago, when we closed our Alaskan pipelines and Saudi Arabia put the price of their oil up and the price of our gas price, the media was silent. You see how they're very manipulative, right? Yeah. And then that really stirs the pot.
Just go back to Obama. Obama gas prices were in the $4 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's they will be very strategic on when, because what they're doing, my point in all of this is this. They're dividing people politically. They're dividing families politically. They're causing mass hate.
They're making you pick a side, basically. Yes. You have to take 100%. A hard line. You might not want to pick a side, but it's like, okay, well, you have to if you want to vote.
Yeah.
You have to either be in this middle or left, middle or right. And everybody knows the middle never wins. Yeah. If you're a middle grounded person, that never wins elections.
Well, think about this way. Right now, what you have going on is this, right? You have the left, okay, are now speaking. Now they're loud because the media is loud and they don't like Trump, okay? So they're loud. And they're, look what you voted for, you fucking idiot, you fucking Trumper, right? Yep. Now you have the Trumpers, or the people who just aren't calling Trump out for what he's doing, right? Who are defending everything he's doing. Then you have the people who voted for Trump who are like, wait, is this what I'm really voted for? I don't think it is. Now, you're getting attacked from, literally. You're getting attacked by both sides. If you question something, just, hey, this doesn't make sense to me, right? There's smoke here. You're a liberal.
Right.
Now you're getting attacked by this side still because you voted for him. Look what you did. But it's like, motherfucker, one, I'm not a liberal. One, I'm just questioning. So stop labeling me as TDS because I'm questioning.
Right.
And two, where the fuck were you for the past fucking 4 years when the shit was still happening just overseas and our life wasn't any better?
Right.
And you were quiet.
Right.
Like,
there was no. Yeah,
I mean, so sorry. Go back to the ICE. You were
I was going to say the one thing I think that I've confirmed in my mind with this whole ICE situation is, like, if you look at the deportations during the Obama administration, he deported more people than Trump did, right? And nobody talks about that.
No,
right? You know why they don't talk about it? And this is what I believe. I believe it's because he was elegant about how he did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump is not elegant about how he did. He says things like criminals, drug rapists. He uses this language when discussing these topics, and then people pay attention to it. If you just shut up, if you just don't fucking use those words, and you just get your mission done, nobody will pay attention, and you'll achieve your objective. The problem is he made everybody pay attention to him because he can't help. And I voted for the guy, man. I voted for him, and I truly feel like I'm one of those people who was like, this is not what I voted for. I voted for him because I thought he was going to be a big disruptor. I thought he was going to bring more transparency, which clearly we're seeing a lot of redaction on things.
Yeah. I think
we're not seeing transparency. We're getting into these wars. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, what's going on?
I think after they faked shooting his ear off faked.
You think that was fake?
No, I'm being facetious because there are people that think that was fake. Just like the people that died on scene were fake.
Yeah.
But I think after that, he was like, "Oh shit, I got to play ball." And I think a lot of that was I don't know. Maybe he just, this is also his last term, second term. I don't. Supposedly they're talking about he may try to get another one, whatever bullshit that is.
But why are all these people in his, like, why are all the, like, Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah, but that's my point is,
what's going on with these people leaving?
So
I think that his tone changed after that, and now he's in bed with the deep state of the actual deep state of people because he's like, oh, I got to play ball.
Yeah,
and I also think too is Trump's ego gets involved, and that's what you're talking about, where he won't shut up and not stop talking about these things.
Dude, if you didn't open your mouth as much.
I think they also learned how to play ball against him.
Yeah.
Directly with him, though, and he doesn't know.
Sure.
They hijack his ego.
100%. And he's surrounded by a lot of yes men. He needs to be surrounded by people who challenge his point of view. But one thing I want to say about that, because yes, sure, his mouth does get him into trouble. The one thing I will say, though, is this. When he's using criminals, there were actual criminals.
Oh, for sure.
First of all, like, let's take away, like, you're coming in the country illegally, that's a crime. I'm talking about there was actual, like, hardened criminals that were coming in, right? However, here's the problem. The media then stirred that into, now you're labeling all those Latinos as criminals, right?
The media's doing what they're going to do.
100%. And if you're stupid enough to believe that, I'm sorry. But here's another thing. Soros. If you look at Soros with BLM riots, right? There is actual proof via the 941s, via his foundations, donating money to those NGOs, right?
Yeah. Now, and the people that were getting bailed out too, same thing.
100%.
The money was coming for the bailouts.
Like, who's paying for this,
right? Now, all of his NGOs now that are donating, just wait for the taxes to be released. The 941s for Minnesota. I can't guarantee anything. I will say. I wouldn't be surprised if he donated, his foundation donated.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, so the one thing I think those people do well is they get in local politicians, the mayors, the town mayors, the representatives and all that stuff. They're paid people, the local prosecutors and stuff, they're paid by the Soros Foundation. They're sponsored or whatever. Yeah. So like you track the money, you find out who's paid for it, and that's with AI stuff. The AI data centers are coming in, and a lot of pushback on that because a lot of them are getting pushed through with no fucking.
Listen, I wouldn't want one in my neighborhood. I mean, there was a big fight in Andover.
AI data centers, which is for AI and like ChatGPT, right? Not for Flock or anything like that.
That AI, that video that everyone saw,
the cop throwing the guy down.
That cop was the son of the mayor.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen.
And nothing's going to happen with that guy.
Bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen with him. No. You can do an AI.
Dude, we don't need AI, man. I'm sorry. Look, we don't need AI. I understand that AI has been around for like 20 years. I get it. I get where AI chips and shit were in technology to make things easier. I get that. The scale of what they're trying to do with AI is not needed. It's not, guys. I understand it makes life easier, especially I was talking to my friend about it yesterday, and he's very much like us where he understands what's going on. But he was talking about it too. He's like, dude, I was building models with the AI. And I was like, I was cynically laughing at myself because I was like, this is making my life infinitely easier, but I know what this could become, and it's not good.
Yeah, I think we're tripping over our own feet with it. I think we're moving too fast.
Yeah,
I think we're going fast. With
the problem is always going to be the competition with the foreign entities that we're trying to stay on top of. Russia, China, like all the big powerhouses. It's arms race. That's what it is, right? It's the same thing with the nuclear bomb.
Doesn't Taiwan control the chip market?
Yeah, but Taiwan is controlled by fucking China.
Yeah, they're controlled by China, but then here we are dictating. Giving money to Ukraine and funding this crazy fucking war. It's like,
that's a whole different.
It's like we're making. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not an expert on this, but I look at the situation and I say, who are we to tell anyone what to do when we're funding Ukraine against Russia? And then we're going to say, China, you can't do that. You can't fund.
Right.
It's like, what ground do we stand on?
And
we're making ourselves look bad.
Dude, so this is the big thing. This is the big thing about this, right? And if you take like a step back with everything that's going on currently in this world, we really don't know what the fuck's going on. We understand that something's not right? Yeah. There seems to be, and that's why I'm saying there seems to be, a bait and switch. And you're like, fuck. I think, Tim, you have something that you said right there. He's got to sort of play ball now. Not that he does, but I think someone got to him. Yeah. Well,
something,
he is playing ball.
something changes you once you when you're in that.
And it's not okay. I'm not giving him a pass for it. It's just like if I've never been attempted assassination on multiple levels, right? By the fucking deep state, right? Now, at the same time, too, let's not put it past it. This is not Trump dick riding. I'm not trying to suck his dick, all right? Let me tell you this.
We'll save that for the porn talk.
Yeah. What if some deep state came, like, you know, in the movie where everything is like the bad guy's getting beat and then finally the good guy comes in and you're like, oh, this guy's going to hammer it.
Yeah, right.
And then they found that one little thing to control the good guy and you're like, no. And then everything in the movie's starting to go bad and you're getting pissed off. Maybe that's someone happening. Came up to him and was like, hey, dude, you got us. We know you got us. You got us on the Epstein files, blah, 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 this and shit. You release that, we'll fucking kill everybody.
So what you're talking about right there, I think is what happened to Cash Patel.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Because like, dude, he was all in going on podcasts, like, yeah, blah blah blah. And now, dude, you look at him, he's like, something changed, and his eyes are like, he's like he saw something crazy.
Why do you think he's drinking all the time?
And he's afraid to talk.
Yeah,
he's afraid. He just won't tell the people what they want to hear.
My favorite him on road. You think I wouldn't tell you this stuff? You think I wouldn't tell you this stuff? Yeah,
I do think that. 100%.
Yes, dude. If anyone saw Cash Patel and Dan Bongino when they were telling us that there was nothing on the Epstein files, you don't need to be a psychologist to see Dan Bongino and be like, that guy is scared and lying.
He's another one, man. He's another one that saw stuff.
Ultra deep state.
Yeah.
There is the level of people in politics, and then there's the level above them, which is like the Epstein level, and there's the people that Epstein was working for. That's above them. That's the ultra deep state. The people above Epstein, and there's probably people even above them.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the people that are now like, all right, we're getting involved.
Yeah,
like,
we're getting involved for sure.
Now we have to step up. You're making this real difficult.
100%.
Yeah, right.
And you want to know what? To play devil's advocate, like I'm saying this for Trump, right? You could say, well, why wouldn't you say that for Biden or Obama? And I'm like, dude, those guys didn't play ball. There was no, we're going to release the files with those guys. Bush.
No.
They're part of it. They're part of the politicians. Those are the career politicians, right? The establishment politicians. Now with Trump, I'm not sure anymore. I think it's more so him being threatened. Yeah. I know a lot of people who think that that's bullshit, who think that he is part of them and we got played. And if that's the case,
I want to believe he came in with the intentions of being a true outside disruptor.
Sure.
And then he got in and was like, and they got to him. You know, the deep state got to him.
Regardless of whether he's in the files or not, they definitely got to him.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing about the files, okay? The files. When he was mentioned, 4,800 times, right? The only two stories that were very old stories about like when he was in the taxi driver and the taxi driver was overhearing his conversation about what he did to that girl. Yeah. They have come out and like, they have like been like, this was before he was president. Like, oh, that's false. Like that guy was crazy. There's nothing. But if you actually go through those files, because there's people who have read it and use ChatGPT. Oh, yeah. He was the fucking, what do you call it? He was the informant to the FBI. Now, I can hear everyone, whether they're fucking voted for Trump or not, telling me, I don't care. He didn't release it and that's just as bad. Yes, you're right. You're right. Not releasing it, redacting the names is just as bad.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
If he was the informant, why? And let me give you all these people. Now I'm going to attack the one other side that hates him so much. But the ones who have their favorite politicians who are still in the list. What's the name count? Is 4,000 your limit? Because when Obama was mentioned 2,000 times, that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Right? But here's the point I'm going with this. Does society actually want justice, or do people want their side to win? That's the question.
Yeah. Again, it's division. I think it's a side versus side.
Yeah, it's justice when they're winning.
Yeah.
I want accountability, and I don't care who it is.
Who cares?
I look at it, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, no amount of money in the world can buy. Like, I can't be bought. There are certain morals that I have where I'm just like, you could offer me $1 billion. And I'd be like, for certain things, for certain real deep moral beliefs that I have, I would not sell my soul. Like, I would never join an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can make $1 billion. I wouldn't do it. I'm not selling my soul to join OnlyFans for a sexual...
Yes. I was going to say, because there's people on OnlyFans that do comedy. No. I've actually watched a bunch of comedy on OnlyFans. I'm like, honey, I swear this isn't porn.
No, I
this
wouldn't-
is.
yeah.
I think they did the roast of Burt Kreischer on OnlyFans. I think that's what I was
Yeah, no,
watching.
I would
I'm
not
like, I'm
do
not paying for
OnlyFans
porn. This is
porn.
Burt Kreischer. He's not naked.
Comedy or whatever. Yeah, I know people
Just
use
shirtless.
that platform for
Yeah.
other things. Fine, but for the sake of selling, that kind of content, like you just couldn't pay me enough.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't.
Do you
do
think
it.
Elon Musk is actually serious about buying it to get rid of it?
What, Elon Musk?
Elon Musk was talking. There was rumors that he was talking about buying it to get rid of the porn aspect of it.
So then why didn't he do it already?
Another one will pop
I
up.
said it's a
man.
rumor.
I think another one will pop up. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like whack-a-mole.
Hey, you want to know what though? If that was a stupid question to me, because when you have someone like that trying to make a transaction, like acquiring a business of that stature, that's not a quick.
Yeah,
that's
no.
not a quick.
But
thing.
also he he has a belief that we are underpopulation and that we are losing a lot of generations because people aren't having kids.
Hold on,
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So the porn
fully.
aspect is a contributing factor to it.
like a population control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
I can see
it's-
that.
well, he's saying is that people aren't having enough kids. So his whole thing is we need to start reproducing.
So I wouldn't
That's
go
why
as
he's got,
far
like,
to say
15
that
kids.
porn creates that porn makes people not have children, but I would say
It
that
contributes to it.
It contributes to a degrading factor in people's life.
Well,
But there's other aspects too, just besides porn.
the
That
younger generations are not interacting as much now, just in general with social
and people
media and
are
stuff.
starting life
And then-
later. They're more things are more expensive.
But
It's a
take
lot of
but
variables.
the whole
there's a lot
incel
of
thing and stuff. People no longer have to go out to get any kind of sexual experience now. They can just stay in and
don't have to
go
work
on
for it.
OnlyFans. They can have interactions on OnlyFans and all this stuff. So like they aren't going out and socializing with people and
Pretty soon
trying
you'll
to
be
get
able
into
to
relationships.
You'll be able to like have sex with a bot. Or
No,
something.
fuck that, dude. I will never. I will, bro. If I find out that any of my boys are fucking bots,
Yeah.
I'm
You're calling them out, you're
ridiculing
making
you,
fun
bro.
of
Yeah,
them.
I don't know,
For
man.
sure.
Some of the girls I've been with are bots. Just not intelligent. I'm just kidding.
Oh god. Wait.
Did you see there was a video of a guy, since we're on this conspiracy topic.
Sure.
This guy, he was this admiral. I brought this up to you.
Yes. Okay.
He was an admiral, and he went on like Fox News and did like an interview about the war in Iran, and everybody went crazy because he had like this gap in his neck, and it looked like he was wearing a mask, like a silicone or whatever, like a mask.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, the internet went crazy. And then he went on and did another interview, and this guy from Newsmax or something was like, let's get the record straight here. Like, were you wearing a mask? He was laughing about it, but he's like, honestly, because the people on the internet are going nuts right now, we just want to know if we could help,
Yeah.
fix this for them. And he's like, I'm not answering that. I'm sticking to the facts. And he like avoided the question. So people are like, "Dude, it's so fucking weird, man. But if you look at the video, if you guys watch the video, it looks like he's wearing a mask.
No, it does.
Legitimately
I've
looks
seen
like
it.
he has a mask on.
They have had realistic masks like that.
Fucking weird, man.
I mean, dude,
So
I can
weird.
break a mask right now that looks exactly like Walter White.
Yeah.
They have that shit. They act like they don't. It's
Dude, they absolutely have that shit. They like now. Why?
Like, we live in such a crazy time.
so. Here's the thing. This
So
is what
weird.
this is exactly what they do though. Is now this is even that guy's response right there.
Yeah.
Whether he actually was not in a mask and that actually was him, there's enough reasonable doubt for people to see,
Right.
but there's no proof.
Right.
So it's enough for people to point fingers in every direction possible with no solution, with
Yep.
no fucking actual like concrete response,
Yeah, dude,
concrete answer. So his response there just contributes to the conspiracy.
What makes it worse? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm sticking to my ground. Even if he's truly being valid and saying,
Yeah.
I'm not feeding into this.
And if you actually had a real person that was on the news, it'd be like, give me a yes or no. Were you wearing a mask? Yes
right.
or no?
he could have just said no and been done with it.
Why is this response anything but no? I was not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Why is it anything but no?
other than denial?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, like,
Why would you?
It's not
you're,
true.
You're not on fucking. You're not swearing your oath, hand on the Bible.
Crazy.
You're not in court. You're not perjuring yourself. No, I wasn't wearing a mask. Well, you can lie.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you.
So
Just
weird.
no, I was not.
Oh, dude, I can't with these fucking people, man.
Yeah, I don't-
Fucking-
yeah,
it doesn't
dude,
feel real.
You know what sucks too? You know what sucks about what you just said with there's no proof? I hate the people who can't think outside the box. And I don't actually hate them. I get annoyed with their
Frustrated.
I get frustrated with them because they're like, well, this isn't true because there's no proof. It's like,
Right.
motherfucker, when the source is corrupt, when the system's, how can I trust? Like,
Yeah.
you have to think some way outside the box.
Poison the well, the water is
Right.
going to be,
Right.
tainted. It's
Right.
just the same concept. The highest level, when one person at the highest level is is poisoned and toxic, then they're spreading that message. Everyone, it's
100%.
how it spreads.
And now, to counteract, that does not mean that every conspiracy theory is correct, because you can't say that everything is.
And that's exactly why.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, they played the game. You watch anyone who is a professional debater. There's two levels of professional. There's people that are genuine and honest and come into conversation to have an actual honest debate, and there's people that are just playing gotcha. Just waiting for you to mess up, and like they take, oh, you said this. No, I didn't say that. You're just twisting my words.
Yeah,
you are not having an honest conversation. All the conspiracy stuff is, well, oh, you think the Earth's flat?
Yeah.
I was like, no, but I'm saying is NASA puts out stuff that clearly is edited images.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah.
That's a fact.
you.
That doesn't mean the Earth's flat, and that doesn't mean NASA doesn't have missions. But maybe there's more to it than what they're saying.
That's the whole the moon thing. There's people that are like, it never, the second one never happened. And then there's the whole conversation of whether we landed on the moon in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole rabbit hole. I went down that rabbit
Here's
hole.
my
Yeah,
question.
I
I got a heated argument with my coworker, and he got real frustrated with me. And at the end, he's like, "Sorry, man." I'm like, "Yeah, it happens. We're talking about the fucking moon landing. It's all good." But my question is, and this is something I learned from listening to Rogan nonstop, is they didn't leave the Van Nuys radiation belt ever up until we landed on the moon. How did we go from, like, I think the furthest thing was a dog got out there, and that was Russia. And that was like, you can go look it up, but it was like, there was like a whole bunch of tests that we got further and further out. And then all of a sudden we just like went 120% further past where we ever have gone before, and through a radiation belt. How, like,
All right, so let me ask you.
how, just take out anything else, whether that actually happened or not. How did they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
at that time, with the level of technology.
We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off and do
existed.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask questions to you. I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to make a point that I heard, right? And the reason why I'm doing this is because you always have those douchebags in the comment be like, "Oh, this guy failed math," or
Yeah, right.
"Oh, I didn't know this guy was a scientist," right?
Right.
So let me try to be responsible here. Is it possible, like you go into an F-18, okay, and you hit a G-force, your body feels that.
Yeah.
So much to the point where when like celebrities go up in there, some of them pass out because they're not used to it. Hell, when pilots are training, there's stories of pilots passing out
called
because you can't withstand it, right?
Right.
Hook, right?
Hook breathing.
Now, is there a way, if you are traveling in an object, such as a shuttle, that would protect your body from insane speeds?
Not unless you're talking about UFO gravity propulsion stuff.
Gravitic propulsion. Is that what they
because hold on, so like like if you're in a plane,
If you're using propulsion, so when you're flying on a plane, right?
Yeah.
You're traveling 500 miles an hour.
sure,
You can walk around normally. Why? Because you're going. It's all relative.
yes,
It's all relative. It's the acceleration is when you get
Yeah.
force back.
and
It's
that's
the
what
force
I've heard.
against
It's your acceleration that is going to cause the G forces.
The gravity force pushing down on you when you're
100%.
turning or when you're climbing or
100%.
That's why if you a jet fighter goes like this and they're at G1, right, and then they're doing 700 miles at 600 miles an hour, and then whatever, and then they climb steeply, they hit like 7-8 Gs,
100%.
and then when they stabilize again, still same speed, the Gs go away, it's back to normal.
Now, perfect. So it's the disruption
Against gravity.
against gravity, right? It's the sudden movements, right?
Acceleration.
The acceleration. When you enter back into the atmosphere, I don't think the rocket is having a nice smooth ride. It's going, they claim, 32 Gs. Your thing has to be shaking with acceleration. How can your body withstand that?
It doesn't necessarily have to be shaking though.
You're entering at 32 Gs.
It does mean it's shaking though.
So
When you're driving on the highway, is your car shaking?
well, it depends on how shitty your car is, but
But
yes,
that's my point.
Yes.
You're traveling at speed. That doesn't mean you're shaking.
But then I guess, can a human withstand 32 Gs? Because if not, how the fuck are you going in a rocket?
All right, so like
I can't imagine they can handle 32 Gs. But let's
I'll
see.
give you an idea, right? Like a roller coaster is like 4 Gs.
Sure.
Okay, a jet fighter max G probably is
Like
between
7, 9.
8 to 9.
Yeah.
Right, and they wear suits
Yeah.
to protect them from passing out. Okay, a car accident, a violent car accident that would cause a TBI and kill somebody is like 40 to 50 Gs against the head, right?
Sure.
So, to answer your question, when you're doing 30, what was it, 30?
30, I think 32 is what I've
32
heard.
Gs. I don't know how is it. I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know. Like, how is that? Are they hitting those 30 Gs?
You know what? It might have been. It might have been.
They're going down.
It might have been Mach 32.
Yeah, maybe it's Mach 32.
Mach
it's probably
32.
Not the G-force. Yeah, they're coming in.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Yeah.
So the
Apollo was 6 to 7 G forces.
No, it's not the G's. It's Mach. I think they were going Mach 32.
Yeah. So space shuttles 1 to 3 Gs. SpaceX, Dragon, SpaceX, 3 to 4 Gs. Starship plan designed to stay under 3 Gs. Yeah. Okay. What Mach?
I think it's Mach. I think it's because even if you're going Mach 32 and then you enter the atmosphere and then you have to fucking stop.
Yeah.
Right. That stop is going. That deceleration has to kill your body at Mach 32. Look,
I don't know.
I'm not saying yay or nay. I love this conspiracy. Maybe we did, and maybe we did go to the moon. But what they saw in 1963 was in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Well, it was during the Cold War too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
These numbers are fucking crazy. So low Earth orbit vehicles, Mach 25.
Mach 25.
So 25 is speed, right?
Yeah.
So it's not G-force. It's not.
Sure.
It's just a term of speed. Moon return, Apollo, Mach 32 to 33.
So can a human withstand going Mach 32 and then when the thing comes out?
That's just speed.
I understand, but...
So that's not G-forces.
I understand, but hold on. When you're going in at Mach 32, at some point, those parachutes have to deploy so you land in the ocean.
Yeah.
That deceleration, can a human withstand that going Mach 32?
Let's see.
Well, I thought those parachutes don't behave the same way a standard parachute would behave, where like a person, it abruptly stops. I think it's like a process where it stabilizes the craft because they shoot a balloon, and then that balloon supposedly is supposed to stabilize the craft, and then another shit goes. I don't know.
I'm not a physicist, so
I don't fucking know. Dude.
Okay, so that's the peak that they hit. It deploys around Mach 0.3 to 0.6.
So they're decelerating.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're coming in, you're decelerating.
My thing is just, I feel like we've been lied to so much.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe what's true.
The
and what's
jerk
not,
is brief to 1 to 3 Gs. Also, that Mach is the peak speed. That's not they're not consistently flying at that speed. The other thing too, right? So the moon landings, all that the video was not direct feed. That, from my understanding, I could be wrong. My understanding, it was not direct feed into the news. It was they were filming the display NASA was putting on TV.
Oh, okay.
None of the original films were ever kept. They're all missing. None of the original technology. There's no data from the original technology. None of the original suits.
Why haven't we went back and
until
landed?
now? Well, until recently.
Well, no, we didn't
went around
land on it.
We went around it.
Like,
So that brings up so many points. Like, why didn't we land on it? Why? And another point you bring up too, which I think flat Earth might be the psyop. And let me explain this. I've explained this before, but let me explain it. When you say something like that, like NASA edits its images, which I'm pretty sure we know, right? Right, Tim? That's like a fact that NASA will edit images of space and stuff.
They do. Well, here you get your wedding photos done. They edit it. They make it. They polish it. They make it nicer. So that's what they do.
Sure,
it happens.
Immediately, if you say that, if you get some motherfucker who like just loves to be contrarian, oh, you think the Earth's flat? It's like the same thing. It's like, dude, I didn't say anything of the sort. I just said that it was. But that's the psyop. It delegitimizes your argument.
Yeah. I don't know what to believe. All I know is it just it feels like it's a lot of lying.
Yeah, well, for sure. The fact of the matter is, a lot of scientists in NASA originally came from the Nazis. We brought in a bunch of people from the Nazis and came over. Operation Paperclip, I think, was that? Paperclip. So there's that aspect. And then the other aspect is we were in a Cold War and we were in an arms race.
That's the bigger thing.
We were in an arms race. So even if, like, you need to be able to entertain other ideas and not be like, no, that's not possible. Fuck you. Entertain ideas. Anything's fucking possible. Right. So let's put ourselves in our shoes back in the Cold War, and we want Soviet Union to just milk all their money, just use it all. So what are we gonna do? We're in an arms race with them, going to the moon. Well, we fucking went. We went. How many times did we go? 7 times or something like that, allegedly.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't.
Well,
remember.
I can look that up. So my point is, let's just say the conspiracy is correct that we never went to the moon, but we lied and made it look like we did.
Well, now they're going to spend all their money
they're trying to spend more and more and more money.
Drain their resources.
Well, I think it's more, that to me is more believable. That sounds like a more believable process.
Yeah, and then here's the other option.
Purely like, hey, we did it just to show that we could do it. No, I think there was more involved. It's competing, interests and competitors and countries.
Well, how about this?
6 times.
6 times?
12
How about
astronauts.
this? How about this? Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and who was the other dude?
Oh, did you see the interview when they were all like, they were straight up lying.
So like, what's with that? Maybe now. Here's another thing.
They had a body language expert and do an analysis,
And they were
Buzz
like,
Aldrin has said some weird shit lately,
and
too.
they pointed them out. And he pointed out everything that each one of them were doing, and he did like an analysis. He's like, oh, that shows a sign of closing up, and that shows a sign of uncomfortability, and that shows he did the whole. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
Now, how about this? I don't know who, because I think it was Buzz and Neil are the ones that went out. There was a dude who was circling the moon, orbiting the moon, right? I forgot his name. There was a documentary, like back in like the early 2000s, where he was communicating with NASA, and they were like, "Hey, how's the view up there? How does it feel to be alone?" Right? That's what the question they gave him. He goes, "I'm not alone," and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm not alone. There's this like cigar-shaped thing that's following."
Yeah.
So, what if we did go to the moon? What if the actual footage they showed, like I said before, was fake, was from Hollywood because they didn't have the technology to transmit it back? Okay.
Right.
What if
That was my suggestion.
Yeah.
Is they had to put on a show for people at home because there was no way for them to actually reach what actually happened.
100%.
Which why would you say that's not possible?
Yeah, that's
very
absolutely
This was
possible.
the first time they
you know?
were to transmit something from the moon back, and they talked to the president.
Yeah, on a
What's
phone.
the delay?
Like, get the fuck? Yeah, get
Right,
the fuck out of here, bro. Yo, not Verizon. Optimum's got to explain to me in my house why fucking internet keeps
The internet
dropping,
keeps cutting out when
motherfuckers.
you're driving in your car.
Right?
The phone cell tower service sucks, but you
how
can
about
talk
this?
to somebody from the moon.
What if they did fucking go to the moon? Something spooked them, so when they came back, they're like, oh, we've been, like, this whole world's been lied to about what's up there, and then maybe that's why they were so nervous in the thing. You never know.
I don't know, man. That's another one where it's like that brings in the whole question of extraterrestrial life, and is there something else out there? I don't believe in all this bullshit with the files and stuff because it's just coincidental that it just seems the timing of it all with AI and the war that they're just, oh, here's the dump, here's the file dump. It's like, no, we've been fucking asking for that shit for decades, like years.
Or what if...
And now you're giving it to us?
Ooh, that could make it bullshit, right? Like a bullshit dump. Or what if it's a legit dump, but we just don't give 2 fucks for it? And then they can clean their hands and be like, see, look, we told you didn't care.
That's another one. We're so desensitized that we're like, that's bullshit.
Now, here's the thing.
I think it's a combination of all of it.
Yeah.
Take away the dump, right? Because the dump said that there was Nordics, like ant-looking ones, lizards, and then grays. Take that away. Do you think aliens are extraterrestrial or interdimensional? A lot of people think they're demons.
Some people, a lot of people think it's demonic. Some people think that it's a form of demonic, evil energy. I don't know because I'm not God. I don't know what the answer is. I want to believe that, I don't know what I want to believe. I will say this. I'll say that if you read the Bible and you go into your Bible and you read about, first of all, Jesus didn't say everything, right? He didn't reveal everything about the world, right? And I think in one of the Gospels, I forget who said it, but they said, there's not enough pages, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but there's not enough pages to write about everything that Jesus taught, right? So that just goes to show that even the Bible, as thorough as it is with stuff in the Gospel, that there's so much out of it. Now people talk about like the
Nephilim,
the
Book of
Nephilim,
Enoch,
and the book of the Book of Enoch, or whatever. There's so many things in there to read about, and that kind of answers questions about alien life. And I don't know. I think that it's hard to believe that we're the only ones in this universe, but at the same time, I want to believe that if there is something else out there and we're bad, it would have harmed us by now.
100%.
And if it didn't harm us by now, then maybe it's sort of like when you walk by and you see an ant hill and you're like, you gonna fuck with those ants? No, because they're just ants. They're nothing to you. You got other shit to do.
As long as they don't come into my house.
I gotta go out to eat tonight. We got a podcast to do, like, right?
Yeah.
You don't care about those ants, and that's maybe the way they look at us. Maybe.
That's an interesting way to look
We're
at it.
they just like, we don't have to. They can't even get to us.
No, honestly,
Could
dude,
be that.
Honestly, dude, I like what you just said there because if they were bad, they could. If there is a life form that can reach interdimensional travel, right? Like basically time travel, use wormholes to fucking transcend
Black
space to get
holes
here,
and
black
weird
holes, all that shit. Like if something could do that, and it were evil, we would have been smoked already.
Yeah.
Now, unless, and these are what some conspiracies and people who
humans made a deal with the right.
because maybe they're using some resources.
We get their technology. And that's what people are saying. Oh, I've heard that. Like, how do we have all this technology?
Wasn't the Book of Enoch? They were saying they were coming here to mine gold.
The Book of Enoch was talking about the Nephilim, who were the fallen angels who mated with the
earthly women,
and then made the giants. Right now, that who know a lot of people have drawn simulations, I think, with the Anunnaki.
That's
the
what I was thinking
Anunnaki,
of,
the Anunnaki, ancient race of people, not people, so demigods or something. I was listening, so I had a conversation with this with my brother, and my brother because I was like, a lot of the Bible leaves out a lot of books, right? Because there's 66 books, and he was saying, well, you should listen to Wes Huff, who's the Bible expert. Yeah. I listened to him on the Shoals podcast. It was a very good discussion, despite it being 4 comedians and him. He did a great job, and Andrew Scholes was dishing out some really tough questions. At the end of that, man, because my brother was like, no, dude, I went down the same hole of the Book of Enoch, and it's like, I don't believe it anymore, and Wes Huff explains it. Now, there's another video I have to watch where he debates a guy and apparently destroys this guy's view of the Book of Enoch and why it's bullshit. On Scholes' podcast, I came away from that. I went in with an open mind. He's like, oh, no, I believe there were giants. So if you believe there were giants, regardless if the people were small and these giants were just 6'5" and not 9 feet, or if they were really 9 feet and 16 feet, if you believe in that, then the Book of Enoch's got to have some...
Yeah, there's some aspect of
the Nephilim. I don't know. It didn't... I was really waiting for Wes, and I'm sure if I watch this other video, I'll get more out of it.
Right.
But I was really waiting for him to draw conclusions, because he's a historian, he's a Bible expert. I was really waiting for him, but he was like, no, I believe there were giants. So then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how does this negate the fact that the Book of Enoch was bullshit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to go down that whole...
Listen, there's no way to say that. It's, I don't know what proof he has, but how are you going to tell me it's complete bullshit?
He is very well spoken. I went in with an open mind, and I actually knew. I told my brother, I was like, bro, the reason why I'm like, I don't want to watch this, I'm probably going to agree with a lot of his shit and disagree with some. Exactly what happened. He was very well spoken. He's done years of studying.
Yeah, right? He's an expert of studying manuscript, text, and so therefore, when you acquire a PhD studying that, you understand what you're looking at, what could be considered forgery, what could be considered true, how you can prove it through carbon dating of material that it was written on versus how it was written versus. I'm sure there's ways, right? So to some degree, I want to believe that he's not just saying something based on...
No, he wasn't, I don't think.
Based on emotion. He would have a factual basis, but I'd love to know why he felt that way.
No, and you want to know what? He by no means, this guy was very calm. And they were making a lot of crazy jokes, and he was laughing. So, it was a great conversation.
Interesting.
He does base it off of his fact, but here's my problem, right? And it goes back to what I said before. Because what sparked the argument with me and my brothers, I don't think that there was only 66 books. But everyone says that, no, the reason why they were taken out is because they weren't canon and they weren't historically accurate, right? But I'm like, no, I think they were taken out because they're telling us what we can really achieve and some shit they want to hide from us. What the point I was getting to with him is I don't believe... Not the source is the Bible. I believe the Bible. I don't believe the authorities. So the historians that have dug up all these manuscripts,
like the creator,
no, not the people who wrote it. Because if you the Bible, most of the books are written by God's word, right? Jesus, God's word. I'm saying the modern day historians, I don't trust them because you have archaeologists who gatekeep information. Why couldn't that be something with religious theologians?
Yeah, that's an interesting topic to go down. Understanding why certain books were canonized and recognized, and certain ones were left out. And I don't think we'll ever get those answers. I mean, that's Wes Huff talked about that whole concept of people believing that Vatican City has this secret bunker archive.
Well, they do.
There's stuff that exists, which they do, but he says to his knowledge and from what he understands, that there's nothing in there that would change Christianity as we know it today.
Yeah,
it's not like if someone went in there.
So, but I have a question.
Can he say that
he believes?
I have a question.
Which is fine. I'm sorry.
What is that
I have
belief
no problem with belief.
off of?
What's up?
What is that belief off of?
I think he's had some
Let me look this
exposure to it. I think he was on site.
So,
I don't know.
You're telling me that he got to see stuff. The guy that goes around talking about the Bible got to see stuff that wasn't life changing or fucking earth shattering.
Right.
And he says there's nothing down there that would be. Why the fuck would they show you?
Yeah,
why the fuck would they show anyone?
That's the other thing. That's a valid point. Like, why, if there is something,
if it's down there, they definitely throughout the ages always taken shit. They have so much stuff there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look. I'm not a big proponent of like fucking. Of always using
You're not a big
AI.
proponent of fucking?
No. of using AI.
AI needs to go away.
Yeah. I'm not like the big on like the description, but.
Right.
If you want to go to the Vatican archives, you have to meet some requirements. One of them being you have to have a master's degree or PhD and demonstrate adequate knowledge, which he definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Submit the application. He definitely did that. Obtain your card. Fine. Follow these strict rules. Researchers are limited to requesting 5 items per day. Additionally, documents are generally open to the public up to the end of papacy or whatever. This is just AI. I remember reading that if you were like going in there, I think there's like an age limit. You can't, like, you had to be like 65 or 70. So let's say that one's bullshit and he went in there. I think that's a great point. 5 items a day?
Yeah.
And apparently there's 10 miles of that or whatever, thousands of books. They're not going to show you it.
Yeah. Archive stuff. The stuff from, like, how much stuff do they have in there from Egypt? And the pyramids and stuff. They have so much shit.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid point. I think a lot of people.
Oh, there's nothing I've seen, but that's lawyer talk. There's nothing I've seen that would make me say that they have stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah, there's nothing I have seen that I would think that. I haven't seen shit though.
No. But you want to know what? And this is why, like what you just said too. It's his belief, and he would probably say that. I don't know him, but based off of that one interview I saw, he would say the same thing. He's very. He chooses his words carefully. He would say, "I believe," which I'm fine with.
That's a good
your
question.
belief.
Ask AI actually if you can. I mean, probably just ask it that straightforward question. Does Wes Huff believe that there is pervasive
Secret.
information the Vatican is hiding or something to that? Because that'd be an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
And look, I'm not even saying that.
What's his name?
like,
Wes Hoff.
Wes Huff.
Huff.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Honestly, you've listened to his stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
No, I like the way he articulates Christianity.
What's the question I'm asking?
Does he believe that Vatican City is hiding anything that would change the view of modern Christianity? Yeah, I mean, because he seems to be very sold through his research.
Sure.
And not just his belief, but through his research. So, I mean, from the research side, I think it's very powerful.
100%.
But there's also a lot of people that don't rely on the books, and they have personal life experiences. Like, you can go down the whole near-death experience.
Sure.
That's another one where that's crazy, where you read these stories of people that claim to die and have these wild experiences, and, they learn things that would have never been taught to them, and they come back and they have an answer to something, or they say they saw something, and it's like, how did that happen?
How'd that happen?
Dude, no answer for it.
He was on the Sean Ryan podcast in February of this year, and he said no, he doesn't believe anything, and the archives would change it. That would overturn or dramatically rewrite what we know.
Okay, good.
I'd like to know why.
No. Right. But hold on though. Look, I could see from the outside coming in.
Right.
You've got us, we three, okay, versus a Bible expert who has dedicated his life to this. I could understand how you would side with him. My opinion, it's his belief, and I have no problem with him believing it. Right. That doesn't mean that what he's saying is true. And I'm sorry. I don't trust the system.
Yeah.
The system of who's allowing this. I don't trust it.
Yeah, even there, that's a whole other debate, and that's a problem, I think, in Christianity, in people who want to believe in Christ. You know, they don't want to believe in the system, the structure of it all, because the system, unfortunately, the system operates by man, and man constantly lets us down. We let each other down. We let ourselves down.
We are humans. We are flawed.
Humans, and we're flawed, man. We sin, and you know, that's the system. You can't put your faith in the system. You have to put your faith in God, in Christ. You got to put your faith in you. If you want to say that the church is going to save me, you have to. Christ is going to save you, not the church.
And you know what the funny thing is?
But the church is supposed to be...
It's a tool.
It's a tool to teach with. And it's unfortunate that there are corrupt people that are within it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm only going to focus on Christianity right now because, I don't know anything with Judaism or Islam. But, all right, let's take Christianity, for example. One of the many differences and intricacies between all the sects, right? Not sects. Is the Catholicism and Eastern Orthodox, right? I'm not an expert, but I know enough to know that the Spirit of God and God itself and Himself, the Almighty, through Roman Catholicism is through Jesus. That's the figure of God. Whereas the Son. Whereas Eastern Orthodox, my understanding is that it's the Father, God. That's where that's where they excommunicated each other. But it's like
you're talking the Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone. What do we care? If it's God. If God came through Jesus in human form as God, but then you believe that there's a God in the Father, it's God. What do we fight? There's no fighting for it. Why are we fighting?
Well, you know, so like one of the things so that's a good question, right? But I'll tell you one thing that in the Bible, straight from Jesus's mouth, as he says that there's only one thing that can't be forgiven, one sin that can't be forgiven. It's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Sure. So if you analyze what the Holy Spirit is,
it's God.
It's the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. It's the Trinity. Mm-hmm. That's the way Catholics believe. It's the Trinity.
Sure.
So in that sense, we are to believe that anything we do in our life, if we do it not intentionally, it's not to say I go out and do something I know I'm going to sin, I'm going to do this horrible thing, and then I'm going to say, all right, God, forgive me. No, that's like if you had no intention of it and it happened and you weren't thinking clearly or whatever, and then you truly want forgiveness, as bad as, and it's hard for me to believe that when I think about these crimes against kids and stuff, I'm like, how the fuck could that person be forgiven? But the Bible says that any sin, Christ teaches that any sin can be forgiven except for blasphemy against the Holy Spirit.
And you want to know what, too? The blasphemy...
That's a tough one for us as humans to accept.
But. Well, because a lot of people say that when you... I think there's a saying in the Bible, I forgot which one. It's sort of like the hell and the separation. Like when you separate yourself from God, you die, right? Like as like a metaphor, so to speak. But I think there's more trueness to that. Is Jesus said, the way through my Father is through me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? But what if that's like, okay, so Jesus is God. Jesus was teaching the gifts of God, right? He was showing the people how they don't need to be controlled. So if you accept that God is in your life, that is accepting through Jesus that then you will have the fruits of my Father or something. I'm not saying the words right. But what I'm trying to get is, and a lot of faithful people have a very hard time when I say this, and it's not me being arrogant. I truly believe that Jesus and God is actually within all of us.
Oh,
that doesn't. Yeah. There's a saying, I and my Father are one.
Yep.
But my Father is greater than I. Mm-hmm. So you can achieve the things in your life because of God working through your Holy Spirit and soul. It's just that He knows the better way of what you want. So trust Him. It's like if you want outcome A, a lot of people like to say, well, if outcome A doesn't happen, then maybe it wasn't meant for me. No. A lot of times people don't get to outcome A because they'll pray on it to God, but they don't let God do the work.
Right.
They always try to intervene in man and flesh instead of trusting in God.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that I think there is definitely an aspect of God, teaching that we're created in His image.
Sure.
And that Jesus being, incarnate of man, created as a man with limited ability, limited power. Like Jesus could. People say, well, why, if Jesus was created, why couldn't he take himself off the cross? Why couldn't he do all these things? Right? It wouldn't have been the will of God, right?
Sure.
And so I do believe as a Christian that there is a limitation. He was created with limitation. He limited himself because he wanted to live like us. Mm-hmm. He suffered like us, right? He lived like us. He lived poor. Mm-hmm. He gave his soul up and his life up for us. And so that's part of the belief, is that if he were this perfect, well, he was perfect, but if he were this more than man being, then why couldn't he just do all these things? And it's because he was limiting himself, and he was very clear that, I and the Father are one, but as you said,
my Father is greater than I.
My Father is greater than I.
Sure.
Because he limited himself. He was limited on his powers. Mm-hmm. That's my belief.
It's interesting, yeah, dude. It's cool. I love geeking out on this stuff. Awesome.
It's crazy, man. It's definitely a good conversation to have. And you know what? I think it's not everybody agrees on the same idea with religion. Everybody has different. Mm-hmm. There's the whole. I mean, look. There's so many ideas you can run with different religions. People get crazy with it, what they believe and what they don't believe. Mm-hmm. I don't push it on anybody. I would hate to feel like the Christianity does teach that you should spread the gospel. It's important. That's part of being a good Christian, is to spread the gospel, spread the good news. But there's a delicate way to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to force it.
But see, the spreading of the gospel, is that written in the Bible to spread it, or like how is that? Because there, like you said, there's a delicate way of doing it, and the forcing on people, to me, I think, is also a sin.
Well, so yeah,
I think maybe sin's not the right way, right word, but
spreading the gospel in terms of like living a good, wholesome life, and preaching that what God taught, preaching what Christ taught, I think is important, and trying to be like Him, because we're not gonna achieve that.
I mean, Gandhi even said, "Be the change you want to see in the world," right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how is that not sharing the Bible?
No, and dude, this is, I'm telling you, watch the Andrew Scholl's podcast, and toward the end, they get to the point where, what if you are the man on the Samoan Island, right?
I've seen that clip.
Yes. And they come back and forth. They really, in a very respectful way, challenge each other's ideas. Mm-hmm. But in the end, even I think Wes I don't think he admits defeat. That's not the right word. But he even admits, he's like, no, but if the person doesn't have any access but he is living in the image of God, then that's okay. It's that's the biggest thing.
That was what I brought up with the conversation with Gus and Andy is I don't believe that there's no way for anyone to know on this earth what is the proper path in God.
No.
I don't care what you believe. We're all flawed. We're all human beings. All those books were written by people that were interpreting the Word of God.
Yeah,
we are the antennas and the computers and the fucking processors of the message that's being passed through us. Things get distorted. But like your radio receiver on your car, sometimes the static comes in, sometimes it's really clear, but it's not coming in perfectly. You will not get 100% the message. There's no way for us to know. So
I think the important thing with when you look at Christianity and how it's spread is the difference is that it was within the time frame. It was a very oral tradition, and people didn't really know how to read or write. And so when it started, moving from, I guess, into like the Greek text, it was a way for it to really spread and get out there.
Yeah.
And I just think that there was only 30 to 50 year difference, roughly, and that's long enough. That's a short enough period of time to where somebody might have literally known Jesus. I go 30 years ago, I knew him. I knew that guy. Imagine that. Imagine like 30 years later, we wrote a book about a guy we knew 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And if it was a profound experience in our life, like a very profound experience, those people, like that was another question that Wes brought up. Somebody said, like, why did people have such great memory, of such vivid detail? How could they remember this? Like, I can't remember what I did yesterday. Do you remember what you did on 9/11? That was his response. You remember everything that happened on 9/11. You could probably remember what you were doing when you found out the towers crashed.
My brother hit a home run that day.
You remember vivid details. And for them, when they met this guy named Jesus and they watched him do these things, that was their 9/11.
100%.
That was why they remembered these crazy things in detail. So I don't know, man. It's just
it's a great conversation.
none of us know the answer, man.
No,
It's
but
just,
and that's why I am okay. And that going back to what he said about the Vatican, even though I don't agree with him, I'm okay if that's his belief.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with people having faith, regardless if their faith is within a God, within a unit. Well, I believe in God, but if they think the universe, God created the universe, right? But if they want to call it universe, whatever, as long as they're living a good, noble, not noble, trying to do the best for themselves.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
A good path.
A good path, right?
Yeah. But back to the people on the island, right? The point I was getting at is like it doesn't. I don't have this belief that you have to follow this exact path,
Right.
and like you have to be going in the name of God and following the 10 Commandments. The person on the island doesn't fucking know better than you're telling me. You're telling me
that they might go to hell.
You're telling me that God set it up that you have to know this information before you can live this way.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
That's flawed. That's flawed logic. That's just asinine to me. No, God would not set it up that you have to follow this book. God would set up that you wouldn't have to, like, this is the, like, morals and stuff. People know when they're doing bad or not. Yeah. People know, and some people don't give a fuck and they'll keep doing bad. But like the morals come in, I think, gets spoken to you through God or whatever you want to call it, and like that's where this stuff comes from. And then the Bible, like where the Bible comes from, like it didn't come out of, it didn't like it wasn't just here. Yeah. It came from messages and stuff. And
the interpretations unfortunately distort a lot of things, and that's why there. I think that's why there are some things that probably are intentionally left out, and some things that are left in because scholars and experts would read it and say this interpretation was skewed. Like they have a lot of those books, like the Hidden Gospel of Mark or whatever it is. Like there's a lot of these where people could run with it and be like, oh my gosh, but and then an expert who understands everything in whole, they could look at it and say, no, that was written and it was very intentionally meant to detract, or it was meant to get you to not believe, or
look, honestly, he did a good job really explaining it. I went in with an open mind, and like I knew there was going to be actually a lot of things that I agreed with him on, and then there was going to be some things where I still, even after watching that, being like, no, I still believe my thing, right?
Yep.
But yeah, like honestly, he was doing it really well with like how there is, I think the word is I don't know what the
construct,
like something that's telling you to do something in the Bible, and then another thing that's descriptive, right?
Okay.
So when the violence is in the Bible, he was saying that because they were asking like, well, what about the people who say that the Bible is violent? It's like, yeah, well, of course there was a lot of violence, but that's descriptive. It's not telling you to be violent. It's just telling you what happened as a description. So he's very good in articulating the distinctions. It was a very good podcast, and I'm happy my brother fucking kept telling me to do it. I was like, all right, fine.
Nice.
You insist.
But still doesn't really change too much on my opinion on it.
Like at the end of the day, whatever you believe, I just think it's about trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
And we're all going to make a lot of mistakes. We're all going to do bad things in our life, right? We're not holier than that. We are all going to do bad shit in our life.
Sure.
We're going to think bad shit and we're going to do bad shit. Some of us, unfortunately, are going to do worse shit than others. I just think life is a whole process, and you just got to try to, look at it cumulatively. Just
keep showing up.
Keep showing up, man. It's like training.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And you want to know what, man? I'll say this. I'm sorry. I'm having a great conversation, but I do have to be somewhere in a half hour. So
let's do it.
One thing about that, getting pretty morbid here, but it's a great thing you just said. We're all gonna fuck up. Some are gonna be worse than others. Some are gonna do things that are better than others. Whatever. At the end of life, let's make the assumption everyone goes to old age, natural death, right? You can have all the regrets in the world at the end. Okay. Whatever your faith is, that moment you take your last breath on this earth, it ain't gonna matter anymore, right? So you could have all the regrets up until you die, but when you die, if you believe that you're gonna go, your soul's gonna ascend into heaven, what does it matter at that point?
What does it matter?
Anything you did on this earth here, right? Now, that's not to say to be a lazy piece of shit, to not go after your dreams. I am not fucking saying that. I'm just saying when you go to your life in the end, there's always the regrets people say on their deathbed, right? Oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. And maybe we're all going to have that. But at the end of the fucking life, like your soul is going to ascend to the light of God. If you believe that,
Yeah, I mean,
what does it matter?
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's important to also recognize that God is just.
Sure.
Whether you believe in Islam or you believe in Christianity, God at the end of the day is a just being, and there's a sense of justice and there's a sense of judgment, and we're all going to be judged, and for everything we've done in our life, right? So that's the way I look at it. I look at it, I try not to say, man, I wish I did this more or that more, had more money or I think it's just cumulatively. You look at your whole life and you say, was it good? Was it outweighed by positive or negative, right? Was there more good or was there more bad? And for the bad things, I care more when I die about, am I anything bad that I've done or that I'm not proud of or I'm ashamed of? Is that something that I can be forgiven for because I truly want to be sorry? Am I truly sorry? When the time comes, if I live a long natural life and I die and I have a chance to truly try to, salvage my soul in that manner, but, again, in the Bible, they say, God, Jesus says, I forget what gospel it's from, but he's basically don't let, protect your soul. Don't let your soul be robbed like a thief in the night, basically be on alert, always be trying to do better.
100%.
Because your soul could be taken, life could come to an end for any of us
100%.
Right now, anytime. And your soul and your choices you've made in your life are all subject to judgment.
Yeah, 100%. And no, that's good. I want to clarify. I'm not saying to just give up on life. I'm saying is don't beat yourself up over the shit the bad shit you did.
No.
But yeah, no, that was beautifully said because it's true. Yeah. You always have to be on guard.
Yeah, you do, man. It's you gotta at least try, at least show up.
Sure. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yo, dude. Once again, did not disappoint. Great conversations. That was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I had a blast.
A lot to talk about. We could keep going, but another time.
Let's keep it for another time.
Yeah,
dude.
let's do it.
I do have to be somewhere, but you know what, man? One time we had a 4-hour and 45-minute episode, and people were like, "Wow, I can't believe you went that long." And then some people were like, "Dude,
Phil?
Yeah." Some people were like, "Dude, that was awesome," and others were like, "You should just split that up."
I think we did almost 3 hours. 3 hours at one time.
It was in that garage. It was a 3.5-hour episode, dude.
Yeah, we haven't had a long one like that in a while.
No, but do you want to know why those episodes come? It's not the length of the show doesn't determine if the conversation was good or not. It's the flow of the conversation that dictates where we get to.
Right, yeah, right.
I love it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. Hell yeah,
Thanks, guys.
A lot of good shit. Please let us know in the comments. Please share your thoughts. We don't care. We had a guy named the Antifa leader of Antifa who commented on one of our reels that this is one of the worst gay porn. I don't know how the hell you know that, man. You must be a faggot. But anyway, love you guys. Comment, share. A lot of great stuff here. A lot of really deep, thoughtful conversation for you guys to consider. Love you guys. See you next week.
Peace, guys.